Part 78. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Ziyi. Chapter 776. Chapter 776 is Killing. The real God King, with the help of one person, can easily destroy a city's divine mystic great treasure, and it has fallen. Inside and outside Maishan city, all the cultivators who saw the scene were unbelievable. But this scene is absolutely true, without any falsehood. Sky Sword Sect divine mystic great treasure Ken Xuanhuan's headless body, standing in the air, immediately fell, no slightest anger, like the same piece of wood. Pu. Wei Suo paused the indestructible clean bottle and reached out to grab the mystic fiend Yin Qi and directly took the headless body of Xuanhuan. The body of Xuanhuan is empty, not to mention that Qi and blood and true Yuan have completely dried up, and even the guild has been completely grayed out. First search for something on him without stopping, Wei Suo directly directed the body of Xuanhuan to Yin Liwa and Ling Longtian. A divine mystic great treasure can really be killed by him, and even he himself is extremely shocked, even though there is no shapeshift great art at all, knowing that he can kill a divine mystic great treasure. The consequences, but Wei Suo is sure that this will set off a great treasure, Xuanhuan. Such a divine mystic great treasure can be used first. What's more, Wei Suo is going to kill this time, far more than Xuanhuan. You search for this stuff. Deceased liar, I am going to collect the fragments of this man's life sword and the 2 half-immortal level ancient great treasure. Those essence metals are useful to me, the 3 guys are for you, and the old man with divine mark black fragment is still hiding in Maishan city, not leaving. Ling Longtian spoke to Yin Liwa and Wei Suo, and they flew straight down the ground. AIDS_crew_ first name _Commonwealth _26 IDS_crew_ first name _Commonwealth _26. This son actually killed Xuanhuan. Although Xuanhuan is the cultivation base of divine mystic first layer, the cultivator of the divine mystic second layer is completely inferior to the cultivator of the divine mystic second layer. In Maishan city, in a secret place residence, sitting in a shapeshift great art array, Yu Feng Reverend, who thought he had completely hidden, was shaken. You 3 idiots, I will send you back to the west. With the surging sound, the indestructible clean bottle crossed the void again and appeared in front of Lu Weijin, Zhong 11 and Wen Shu, who fled. Ah! Wen Shu great treasure called, indestructible clean bottle on the extremely cold breath, directly frozen his fleshly body is about to collapse completely. Hong! A white light fell from the sky and gathered around him to form a giant whip. He danced with his hands as if waving a whole mountain range, desperately fighting the extremely cold shapeshift great art field of the indestructible clean bottle. This is the shapeshift great art whip of the wide shapeshift great art temple. Is this person? Some cultivators in Maishan city saw this scene, suddenly burst into shock. Incredible Zhang great treasure mouth. Chi. Just as Wen Shu barely waved the mountain's giant whip and swept the divine mark, which was invaded by him, Wei Suo suddenly walked straight behind him as if he was wrapped in a sun. You can't kill me, I am. Wen Shu knows the situation and knows that he absolutely has no shapeshift great art to block Wei Suo's. And what is it? Stupid. Wei Suo has no table lust and does not give him a chance to speak. Under this kind of lust shape, even if he let go of this person has already been miserable to his own extent under his own hands. In the future, his sect must be his own great treasure enemy. Pa! Wei Suo shot in one hand, the silver divine light shined, Wen Shu's entire back was completely sunken, and the bones and gilt in the naked body were shattered. Wen Shu opened mouth still wants to say nothing, but there is no trace. Opportunity, blood is like a fountain, spurting out of his mouth. Ah! Died. This person will widen the shapeshift great art of the shapeshift great art, and even the shapeshift great art whip. Even if it is not the top grade character of the wide shapeshift great art, it also has a relationship with the wide scale shapeshift great art. Wei Suo is in full swing and the power is hard to imagine. Everyone at the moment saw that under the one shot of Wei Suo, Wen Shu had been completely smashed by inner chi and could not die anymore. Seeing that Wen Shu was killed by Wei Suo, Lu Weijin and Zhong 11 were all horrified. Zhong 11 immediately called Great Treasure and called out his identity. Chi. But a dark golden sword Chi of Pang Great Treasure came to him in an instant. Dark Emperor Sword Chi. The use of Wei Suo's current cultivation base to display Dark Emperor Sword Chi is not only amazing, but also powerful energy is not able to withstand the cultivator of Zhong 11's Golden Core second layer. The violent origin Chi, and the divine consciousness pressure swept the past, pressed Zhong 11 to say nothing. Zhong 11 the character of the Prince Yang sect has changed color completely. He knows that even if he blocks the blow, he will certainly not be able to stop Wei Suo's hit. A purple gold waist card rises from his hand, and it radiates a breath of singularity into a sea of purple glare. Peng. Wei Suo's intense dark gold sword Chi was smashed by a splendid light from a purple glare. Where is it sacred, dare to kill? At the same time, a surging sound of an old surging sound, a black shapeshift great art robe, like Yu Feng Reverend, face dry, like a dead body, the head is almost light, yellow face, the old man who can no longer be old, stepped out from the purple glare. Although this old man is infinitely old, he will sit down, but the spirit light on his body is extremely blazing, forming a round of purple sunburst behind the giant treasure. This old man is obviously also an old antique at the bottom of the box. This is purple. Many of the cultivator pupils who saw the scene suddenly shrank, and their faces were once again filled with an incredible look. But at this time, the old man had just stepped out of the way, but he hadn't had time to finish it. His own eyes were suddenly bulging, and the original savage and majestic look turned into a scalp. The look of the fried Hong. A dang smashed the golden treasure annihilation golden core, which was destroyed directly above the purple gold glare. It exploded, and countless flames that destroyed seeing, expanded with terrifying degrees, and instantly formed in the air. A giant great treasure of light. At the same time, Wei Suo has already crossed the void with the indestructible clean bottle. All the people are stunned. The old man wearing the black shapeshift great art robe and Zhong 11 rushed out of the ruined light group, and the blood was in the secret place, and the secret place was wounded and swayed. Indestructible clean bottle is also in the far secret place, and the charm is moving, but Wei Suo suddenly emerges from behind the old man and Zhong 11, sweeping one hand and sweeping the old black man and the only remaining spirit light in Zhong 11. When two people collided, half of the body collapsed and it was obviously not alive. Zisu Reverend. This person is the old antique purple Reverend who swept all cities 100 years ago. This old antique is still not dead. When I came out, I was shot dead. It's _crew_ first name _Commonwealth _26 it's _crew first name _Commonwealth _26 it's _crew first name _Commonwealth _26. Purple Yang Palace's pressure box bottom old antique. This person is definitely not the genius disciple of Purple Yang Palace, or the true treasure of the treasure disciple. This Wei Suo is killed directly. The Maishan city is completely crazy. Many people have seen the origins of this old man and Zhong 11, but no one has thought that anyone has not had time to call out the origins of these two people. These two people have already been directly used by Wei Suo. Killed. Wei Suo reached out and directly dropped the bodies of Zhong 11 and Zisu Reverend into the indestructible clean bottle. Everything is in his plan. If you don't want something from Zhong 11 and Zisu Reverend, maybe the two of them will be killed by him under one face. Because he is not the annihilation golden core on his hand, the most great treasure. You can't kill me. I am Lu. Lu Weijin great treasure called, directly shouted his identity, because Wei Suo hit the Zhong 11 and Zisu Reverend after a single blow, did not stop at the slightest, and displayed the void walking footwork, one step before him. You can't kill him, he is our heavenly Emperor Dao true disciple. A cultivator wearing a purple shape-shift great art suit rises from the rush of Maishan city, and the great treasure surging sound screams. What a joke, heavenly Emperor Dao true disciple could be sneaky, and put together heavenly profound continent cultivator and Huangpujualun to kill me. Huangpujualun and heavenly Emperor Dao sect master reached an agreement not to kill me. The whole cloud spirit continent knows that if heavenly Emperor Dao disciple, and Huangpujualun kill me, it is not a betrayal of the teacher, betray the teacher. Which heavenly Emperor Dao true disciple will do this? Wei Suo flashed in silver, a slap in the face of Dao venerable and a palm without a stop. Ah! Lu Weijin was shining in the sky, but couldn't resist it at all, and the eyes just flashed a desperate look. The half-body naked body was beaten into fly ash. Wei Suo reached out and grabbed Lu Weijin's treasure-receiving pocket into his hand. Ah! The heavenly Emperor Dao cultivator wearing a purple shape-shift great art suit slammed and the entire naked body trembled. He never imagined that Wei Suo would kill Lu Weijin directly with a single blow. You dare, between a loss of consciousness, he snarled fiercely. But what he didn't even think about was that Wei Suo stepped out and came to him. You are fascinated by the people, want to save this person, certainly with Huangpujualun. Do not kill you, not enough to stand up. A thin dark golden sword light, instantly wearing the head of heavenly Emperor Dao disciple wearing a purple shape-shift great art. Immediately, Wei Suo grabbed the treasure-receiving pocket on the cultivator, and a black fire hit the heavenly Emperor Dao disciple, turning the name of heavenly Emperor Dao disciple into ashes. The killing of the dead and the destruction of the dead, this person is too embarrassed. Ah! This cultivator wearing a purple shape-shift great art suit, I have seen, is heavenly Emperor Dao disciple. Ah! Ah! It was killed by him. What? This person is really heavenly Emperor Dao disciple? The other one, really is heavenly Emperor Dao true disciple? The entire Maishan city was completely boiling. Almost every cultivator was screaming, and all of them were chilling, and every thought was shaking. You Feng Reverend, you hide inside and think I can't find you. However, Wei Suo did not stop here, but instead had such a surging sound in Maishan city. Improbable, he can't have mine, he is scaring me. In Maishan city, Yu Feng Reverend violently chills. Ah, but then what made his heart violent was that he was now indestructible clean bottle, flying straight toward his hidden shelter. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 777. Chapter 777 Wide Shapeshift Great Art, God King Shapeshift Great Art Block. And kill. The old man who used the restrictions to hide in the city, was he ready? Ah! Go quickly, so as not to lick the fish. In the Maishan city, countless cultivators rushed out of the city. First of all, Divine Mystic Great Treasure can, and even the Golden Core Great Treasure Cultivator, even the Rescue Old Antique from the Ancient Transmission Class Shapeshift Great Art Great Treasure is also killed, especially the Heavenly Emperor Dao disciple also killed together. In the eyes of all cultivators, Wei Suo is too embarrassing. Yu Feng Reverend flew out of the house, but Wei Suo showed the void walking footwork, which drove the indestructible clean bottle, almost directly to his head. You don't want to be too big. Yu Feng Reverend is almost desperate, roaring wildly. Is it because I am too big? I have already ran to Cloud Spirit Continent, and you have killed me twice and twice. How about me? Wei Suo sneered. Yu Feng Reverend is a word. If that's the case, then, immediately, Yu Feng Reverend looked at a slap in the face, and his face was unusually bright, and he wanted to blow himself to the golden core. A devastating zinky flame quickly spread from him. Pu. Ling Longtian suddenly appeared in the secret place behind Yu Feng Reverend. Do you think that you can press on my head? In this case, then come to die. Yu Feng Reverend saw that Ling Longtian turned into a purple light and came to his own, and he was so angry that he was so angry. I thought that I would blew myself to the golden core, and there was a small fish that would run up to bully myself. To live Wei Suo's surging sound, the sound is calm and waveless, coming out of the indestructible clean bottle. Give me death, Yu Feng Reverend screams crazy, reaches out with a splendid light, ready to open Ling Longtian first, blew the golden core. If the fleshly body is hit hard, True Yuan does not have shapeshift great art rushing into the golden core, it will also lead to golden core without shapeshift great art blue. Even if he dazzled the Dao technique shapeshift great art without shapeshift great art to kill Ling Longtian, as long as blocking 1 or 2 breathing time, his golden core will burst. But let him look at the great treasure, a dead word out of the half, but cannot say that Ling Longtian's move did not stop at all. His splendid light disappeared, palling Longtian on his back. He directly shattered his back spine and instantly interrupted his blasting golden core. Pu. A blood spurted out of the mouth of Yu Feng Reverend. Yu, looking at his watch at the moment, Lupu, Huang Pujualun had smashed him many things before, even the Ling Longtian spirit race, which was dug out of the spiritual stone's vein, did not tell him. Under the Bamang shapeshift talisman, Ling Longtian, who turned into a red-faced great treasure, reached out and took a break. The half-ribs of Yu Feng Reverend were also interrupted, and Yu Feng Reverend completely lost the ability to resist and flew out. Silver flashes, Wei Suo receives the indestructible clean bottle and directly holds Yu Feng Reverend in his hand. Ah! Capture. This person said that he wants to live, but he really caught the job directly. This person's helper is so powerful. This veteran is already the cultivation base of the golden core 5th layer, and it is only 1 step away from divine mystic. Many cultivators see such a scene, they only feel that the scalp is numb. There is another great treasure cultivator, not a general golden core great treasure cultivator. At this time, the breath of a strong great treasure came out from the sky of the distant secret place. This exuberant atmosphere, like a galaxy surging, overwhelming, is not comparable to the general great treasure cultivator. It is the wide shapeshift great art elephant of the wide shapeshift great art. The great treasure cultivator of the wide shapeshift great art has arrived. Many people are exclaimed. I saw a group of great white treasures of white light, toward the Maishan city by, white light, is a white Yu statue of Pang great treasure, through the naked body with starlight shining, there are 2 cultivators standing on the top. Hong. Almost as soon as the eyes of Wei Suo and others gathered on the white Yu statue, there was another burst of breath that shook the heavens and the earth. Like a comet suddenly falling. A blazing golden light, with a long flame tail, even formed a golden fire cloud in the air. This group of golden light is a golden lotus platform. There are 4 Tianzun rune at the bottom of the lotus platform. The golden flame of rising is formed. 4 God King phantoms are formed around the lotus platform, up to 10 feet, holding Gukan, sword, great treasure umbrella, Kanjak. Who dares to kill my brother? A surging sound filled with heaven-shaking killing intent, Dang glared at the terrifying majestic atmosphere, and swayed from the golden lotus platform that came as a comet. 4 God King shapeshift great art seats. Heavenly Emperor Dao's 4 God King shapeshift great art is the true treasure of Heavenly Emperor Dao. The treasure disciple Lu Jinyu is here. Could it be said that this Wei Suo has just killed him, his younger brother Lu Weijin? This is the princely character of Heavenly Emperor Dao. Lu Weijin, dear God. Just this person killed, is it Lu Weijin? Certainly not wrong, otherwise Lu Jinyu will definitely not know, will not come. Zisu Reverend is coming, the great treasure cultivator of the wide shapeshift great art is coming, is the other 2 killed by this person is good with Lu Weijin Xiao, the true treasure of the Purple Yang Palace, the treasure disciple Zhong 11 and the wide copy of the shapeshift great art. Ah, if that's the case, then this guy is really awkward. The cultivator of Maishan city was almost numb. How should we proceed? Yin Liwa is also constantly inhaling and calming herself. Don't worry, just put everything on them and say it, we are waiting for them to come. Wei Suo does not move the surging sound color, waiting for the wide shapeshift great art U of the shapeshift great art and the four God King shapeshift great art of Heavenly Emperor Dao. From this point of view, the wide disciple of the sect of the shapeshift great art and the Heavenly Emperor Dao should also be the same as the mystic wind section. There is a shapeshift great art device such as the primordial spirit light. Once it is down, sect will immediately sense it. 2. This wide shapeshift great art U image also contains divine mark, but it should only be realized that divine mark's divine mystic great treasure can be refining, left behind, and only half immortal artifact. This for God King shapeshift great art is a bit strange. It seems to attract some of the world's origin chi. Ling Longtian stood behind Wei Suo and Yin Liwa, clutching the old Black Wind sect, who was still fainting, very low-key, secretly looking at the two people who had recently passed. Hong. The golden chi flame is as turbulent as the divine sea, and the rolled-up mist is like one Angtao slaps the void. The four God King shapeshift great art seats are even more amazing than the wide shapeshift great art U, and then come first to the top of Maishan city. Above the God King shapeshift great art, among the four God King phantoms of the giant treasure, only Lu Jianyu stands. I saw this name of Heavenly Emperor Dao's true treasure. The treasure disciple is handsome and graceful. He is wearing a golden robes, and his hem is very long. He is separated like a lotus petal and dances in the void. His voice is deep, and between the two, if there is a star in it, the white divine light on his body forms a great treasure screen with a height of 5 feet behind him. The great treasure screen is in the middle, and there is a near essence. The naked body is like the great treasure of the white U. It's the most outstanding disciple of the great sect. This is so met, it is like a real god. If you're going to divine mystic, you're still fine. The power of Lu Jianyu makes the great treasure most of the cultivator of Maishan city without the shapeshift great art by vision. You are who? My brother is what you killed. Lu Jianyu's face is not the slightest lust, just like the God King statue in the temple. Looking at Wei Suo, he didn't do it, but slowly said, but his eyes were extremely cold. Lights Reverend and Hong shapeshift great art Reverend. The Lantern Reverend is the same era as Purple Yang sect, and the same old antique, actually not dead yet, wide shapeshift great art. Two supreme elders arrived at the same time. At this time, the white light under the 4 feet is condensed white lotus leaves, like the wide-eyed shapeshift great art U elephant walking in the void. The two wide shapeshift great art. The cultivator is also clearly seen. Right is a head all white but white, squatting back of the old robes old Daoist. The body of spiritual chi is not obvious, but the eyebrows have a group of blue light flashing, like a point of oil. The other one is wearing a quaint black shapeshift great art robe and a purple gold boots. It is a majestic and glorious old man. The spiritual chi on this old man is extremely strong. Condense a phantom of purple gold Dao venerable sitting on his body, one hand straight, placed in front of him, seems to be constantly chanting shapeshift great art. These two cultivators are the supreme elders at the bottom of the wide-scale shapeshift great art. They are not in the world, especially the Lanterns Reverend is a cultivator with Yufeng Reverend and Zigzag Reverend, and a generation of shapeshift great art. The sect master is still a generation higher, so that the old characters, in the entire cultivation world, have no more. Heavenly Emperor Dao and cultivator are coming. Maybe there will be Purple Yang sect's great treasure cultivator coming in. Within a day, true disciple and the supreme elder who came to the rescue are directly killed. Surely the whole vibration, maybe even sect master will come in person. Secret place great treasure in sect will be asked. Far secret place sky, there are some white divine light, dang glaring at the breath of strong great treasure, flying, all the cultivator of Maishan city. I feel unimaginable, I am almost completely lost the ability to think, I don't know what will happen next. Kind of thing. Heavenly Emperor Dao, at this time, all the cultivators in Maishan city, but Wei Suo was very surprised to see the questioning Lu Jinyu. Hello, is Heavenly Emperor Dao true treasure disciple Lu Jinyu? Below is the killing of a divine mystic great treasure, and several golden core cultivators, but the several golden core cultivators are able to kill me with the divine mystic great treasure, both heavenly profound continent the cultivator. I don't know what you mean by that. What? Kill divine mystic. Originally Lu Jinyu and others' supreme killing intent came up, but when he heard Wei Suo say this, Lu Jinyu's eyes suddenly violently beaten, and the rear imposing lanterns reverend and Hong shapeshift great art reverend also it is a fierce stagnation. Among the void above Maishan city, there is a trace of divine mystic great treasure. And they immediately saw that an old man who was controlled by Wei Suo was also an old man of the golden core 5th layer late stage cultivation base. First senior brother, at this time, 2 cultivators flew out of Maishan city. The white divine light appeared to be the ordinary inner sect disciples of Heavenly Emperor Dao, just the cultivation base of thought division realm. Lu brother also, there is also the purple Yang Palace Zhong 11 brother and the rising sun reverend, who was also killed by this person. The 2 cultivators trembled and screamed, and they all said nothing, and they were extremely fearful of Wei Suo and Lu Jinyu. What? Hearing this, the 2 old antiques of the wide shift great art, suddenly turned into a face-changing, heartbreaking shock. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 778. Chapter 778 is going to go, no one can stop it. Why are the 2 supreme elders coming? Lu Jinyu again coldly looked at Wei Suo and looked at the 2 old antiques of the wide shapeshift great art. Although he is still very calm on the face, but his heart is also like a storm. Divine mystic great treasure can be degraded and can already cause vibrations throughout the cultivation world, not to mention falling into the hands of the golden core cultivator. We sensed the fall of Wen Shu, so I came. The 2 old antiques of the wide shapeshift great art can't believe it, looking at Wei Suo. Is this person really dare of great treasure? And the 3 princes of Heavenly Emperor Dao, Purple Yang Palace, and Wide Shift Great Art are killed in one go, and the old antique Purple Reverend of Purple Yang Palace is also extinguished. Killed. So, my brother and Wen Shu, Zhong 11, all died in this person's hands. Lu Jinyu looked cold and turned to look at the 2 Heavenly Emperor Dao disciple who had hard to scalp to report. Great treasure, first senior brother, indeed, was killed by this person. 2 Heavenly Emperor Dao disciple said white and shivered. You are Yin Corpse sect, the Wei surname cultivator. Lu Jinyu looked at Wei Suo, the momentum of the people. What do you have to rely on, even dare to kill my 3 sect's true disciple? I don't understand what you mean. Wei Suo's god lust is very innocent. Is it the cultivator of your sect among the heavenly profound continent cultivators that I killed? That's impossible. You don't know their identity. Lu Jinyu's eyes narrowed and sneered. The cultivator of a real mountain town can testify. If you don't believe, you can ask these 2 people. Wei Suo ordered 2 Heavenly Emperor Dao disciple. When I was against the Xuanhuan and several other cultivators, I asked them more than once. They said that they were cultivators from heavenly profound continent. And when they were against the enemy, they also teamed up with Xuanhuan to deal with me, and also helped Xuanhuan resist my shapeshift great art. What is he saying? Lu Jinyu turned to look at 2 Heavenly Emperor Dao disciple, cold surging sound. Hate 2 Heavenly Emperor Dao disciple were always a dare to say and dare not say. Say it. Lu Jinyu eyes flash, amazing murderous intention. What he said is true. A Heavenly Emperor Dao disciple sighed and said. From their description, I can't see their true identity at all. Wei Suo went on to say, and your sect master and heaven transformation cult sect master and Xuanhuan, Yeshiancheng and heavenly profound continent divine mystic great treasure can be confronted. When Lu walks too, Lu Weijin is also present. He is very clearly, Huangpujualun and Yexiancheng and your sect master reached an agreement to withdraw from heavenly profound continent and not to deal with me. I can never think of it, he will deal with Huangpujualun. He did this, isn't he betraying the shaft shift great art? I think you may be wrong. What is wrong? I think it must be the great treasure of Lu Weijin and others, so I joined forces with Huangpujualun to kill him. This class of great sect's true disciple is the real God King, and there is nothing to do. It turned out to be Lu Weijin. This is good, kicked to the iron plate. Did not grab something, but was killed as a masked thief. This is good, Heavenly Emperor Dao, they have to eat dumb loss. Heavenly Emperor Dao, this sect, even if it doesn't make sense, Wei Suo killed their outstanding true disciple, especially the younger brother of Lu Jinyu, and certainly will not stop here. This is what caused him to be a great treasure. Many of the cultivators in Maishan City are inverted Zhou air-conditioned, secretly controversial, did not expect to be killed, really Lu Weijin, Zhong 11 and Wenshu 3 prince-level characters. Even so, when my brothers are not in the game, they will definitely speak out. You must have recognized them and not give them a chance to speak. The situation is not good for Lu Jinyu's questioning, but he has no pause. Looking at Wei Suo, said coldly, and Zisu Reverend has arrived. Even if you are not a cloud spirit continent cultivator, you can't recognize it. Yin Liwa, you are there, you can't see the clue. And my heavenly Emperor Dao and disciple rush out. Reminder, you will kill it. You are clearly pretending to be ignorant, take the opportunity to kill them. Lu Jinyu stepped forward, and the platform of Pang Great Treasure moved with him, and the momentum was extremely great. Is the old man called Zisu Reverend? The kind of lust-shaped bucket shift great art, which is changing rapidly, and my cultivation base is not as good as Divine Mystic. Naturally, I was desperately trying to fight. At that time, I directly played the Annihilation Golden Core. It was not even seen by the lust shape. Who can tell clearly? Wei Suo was very calm, watching Lu Jinyu, a man of the momentum, faintly said, and I have never heard of anyone reporting his identity, and when I go back to Heavenly Emperor Dao, I can naturally know what you are saying is true or false. Lu Jinyu blinked in the eyes, and he took a step back and said, under the next great treasure, I will go to the great treasure. If anything, you can say it in heaven. Transformation cult. Wei Suo shook his head. I don't believe you can kill Divine Mystic Great Treasure. I suspect that you are able to collude with Divine Mystic Great Treasure, and kill my brother, said Lu Jinyu coldly. I can kill Divine Mystic Great Treasure. It depends on a Divine Mystic Great Treasure that can be defeated by Shapeshift Great Art. Shapeshift Great Art Great Treasure. Wei Suo is still very dull, saying, this whole Maishan City cultivator is seen. As for how Divine Mystic Great Treasure can be degraded, the entire Maishan City cultivator is very clear, the facts are all, no need for me to explain. Some low-grade cultivators, how to judge the true and false? Lu Jinyu coldly glanced over the entire Maishan City. I advise you not to make mistakes. Follow me back to Heavenly Emperor Dao, otherwise we will only keep you. If you say this, you are a bit rude. Wei Suo glanced at Lu Jinyu with a faint look. If I want to leave, I am afraid you can't keep me. It seems that you are not putting our Heavenly Emperor Dao in your eyes, and you are bent on being enemies with my Heavenly Emperor Dao. Lu Jinyu's look was completely cold. I'm going to see how you can go. A good great treasure hat is buckled up. This Wei Suo can kill Divine Mystic. Is this Lu Jinyu even more amazing? Heavenly Emperor Dao is really arrogant. In one sentence, all of our cultivators in Maishan City are opened, saying that all the cultivators we see in Maishan City do not count. He is going to deal with this person with 1 yuo. If it's a Heavenly Emperor Dao gate, I'm afraid I can just find an excuse to suppress this person. All cultivators in Maishan City are very nervous, and many cultivators are worried that a great treasure battle will burst. Can't I go? Wei Suo didn't talk much to Lu Jinyu at the moment, and he appeared as a divine light in the sun. Just step by step, Wei Suo took Yin Liwa, Ling Longtian, and Yu Feng Reverend, and the old Black Wind sect who has not yet woken up, appeared 10 miles away. Lu Jinyu and the 2 old copies of the shapeshift great art are left behind. What is this shapeshift great art, even an instant 10 miles? The old antiques of the 2 shapeshift great art are all surging sounds. This kind of shapeshift great art is simply supreme strong shapeshift great art. It is hard to imagine who can stop it. Lu Jinyu also changed his face, but at the same time, the 4 God King shapeshift great art gold divine splendor surged and chased Wei Suo and others. Block him. At the same time, Lu Jinyu also made a very calm and very positive cold cry. This kind of shapeshift great art consumes true Yuan extremely intensely. With his cultivation base, it is impossible to continuously perform. It's a great pass for divine mystic great treasure, and the vision is sharper than ours. The old antiques of the 2 shapeshift great art temples felt that Lu Jinyu could see the problems they had not noticed at first glance and felt reasonable. They chased Wei Suo with Wei Jinyu. However, the face of Lu Jinyu has become a little bit blue. Wei Suo's shapeshift great art has no pause at all, and the void walking footwork is displayed all the time. It is only a moment, Lu Jinyu and 2 wide shapeshift great art. Even the back of Wei Suo's is invisible. Too fast, this supreme strong shapeshift great art, even divine mystic great treasure cannot catch up. No wonder this Huangpujualun twice shot, have to take Yu Feng Reverend first to trap him, but unfortunately did not expect the agency after all, it is still in his hands. No wonder this person can kill Mystic Wind sect in the heavenly profound continent and several old antique characters. This divine ability is definitely invincible in the golden core stage cultivator. Lu Jinyu wants to rely on the background of the teacher's door and stays strong with this person. I didn't expect even the fart of the family to eat. Wei Suo used to drive the indestructible clean bottle, and it only took a few miles to cross each time. This time, the void walking footwork was fully displayed. One step was to make the cultivator all over the city. I must let this person pay the price. Lu Jinyu blinked for a moment, her face returned to calmness, and the cold old pair of 2 old shapeshift great art Tiangong's old antique said, this person said to Heaven Transformation Cult, I went to Heaven Transformation Cult to deal with him. How do 2 supreme elders say shapeshift great art? Nature can't let this child forget it. We also go to Heaven Transformation Cult and set up shapeshift great art to deal with this person. The old antiques of 2 broad shapeshift great art temple looked at each other and immediately nodded. Husband, are we really going to participate in this great treasure of Heaven Transformation Cult? Wei Suo used the Earth Mother ancient scripture in conjunction with the void walking footwork and headed for a city in front of it. Yin Liwa couldn't help but ask. This time we have the reason to kill those people. If we don't go, we don't have a shapeshift great art rebuttal. By the time we are in Heaven Transformation Cult, all sects participating in the Great Transformation Alliance are in the process, and Heaven Transformation Cult can't be unreasonable unless the Great Transformation Alliance is not open. As long as they don't have the shapeshift great art and the great treasure to deal with Yin Corpse sect, I don't fear anyone at all. Wei Suo didn't have the slightest fear of the table. Let's see what's in these people. Wei Suo can be sure that when he arrived at Heaven Transformation Cult, even if Heavenly Emperor Dao was forced by the situation, it was ostensibly lost. Without shapeshift great art to deal with them, it was definitely to ask for the 3 people. Since the 3 men have cooperated with Huangpujualun to deal with him, they have been killed by him. The good things of the 3 people, of course, they can swallow, and it is impossible to give them back to the 3 sections. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Ziyi. Chapter 779. Shui-Ling-Er, this female nun is the Shui-Ling-Er of the Xianfeng Gate of the Tianxian continent. Was this monk killed the disciples of Xuanhuan Men's true biography and several old antique monks in Tianxian continent? That domineering real person is said to be called Wei Suo, and it seems to have the same name as the genius monk before Haixianzong. It can't be the same person. The talented monk of Haixianzong roared the gate of the corpse sect, Yejinling, the monk who killed the corpse sect, and the corpse sect were dead enemies. How could they hide in the gate of the corpse sect? Among them, the Jindan monk of Haixianzong didn't know Jindan's heavy practice before, and it's impossible for him to go to the Tianqian continent and kill several monks who were more than 3 or 4 times heavy. Supernatural. The monks in the whole casket city saw Yexiancheng and Huang Piu's incomparable and Yahuang real people leaving. They were all relieved, and there was a lot of discussion and speculation about the origin of Weisuo. Sect Master Yin, I have something to do, so I'll say goodbye first. Sushenxiu above the huge Huitian golden gourd didn't stay there. After glancing at Weisuo and Yin Liwa with Yan Yu, they also directly leave in the direction when you came. Thank you Su Zongju and Wang Zongju for coming forward to resolve this disaster. Yin Liwa performed a salute to Sushenxiu and Wang Wui's divine light method on the White Yu Mountain. You don't have to pay much courtesy like the scorching sun. Wang Wui, whose entire city was under his superb dignity, nodded and disappeared behind him. Among the pavilions of the mountain. It turned out that it had just broken through to the 4th level of Shenxian. The incarnation of Shen Nian could not last long, and it seems that it may not be able to comprehend the rules of vitality. She had been staying behind Yin Liwa and others in a low-key manner, and she secretly looked at Wang Wui, but now she secretly whispered again. Sect Master Yin, I have some things to discuss with Sect Master Yin and this Taoist friend. I wonder if I can enter Gazong Mountain Gate. At this moment, the handsome face on Wuxianyushan was almost demon as a young demon. The figure moved, but walked out of the platform at the top of Wuyu Mountain, and walked in the sky. Yin Liwa stunned slightly. Who is this person? Weisuo's voice immediately reached her ears. Weisuo has also noticed that this young monk who has condensed out of aura has a surprisingly different face. Only then did he look down on Qi, and now the young monk's practice has reached the middle of Jindan's fourfold. Yuan Ziwei's words are slightly higher than him. The aura of this person is the same as sun and moon. It should be Lu Weijin, one of the 4 true disciples of Huang Tianzong. Lu Jinaiu, the brother of Huang Tianzong's true biography, is his brother. I don't know what he meant for him. Let's look at it again. After Yin Liwa immediately conveyed the sentence to Weisuo, his face was also quiet, and said to Lu Weijin who came to the sky, Lu Daiyu came to this door and naturally dare not quit. Since this, Brother Hua and Brother Lu, please follow me. When Yin Liwa said this, Lu Weijin smiled slightly, and turned to say so to the Wuyu mountain behind him. Afterwards, a young monk wearing crimson and bamboo leaf-like runes on the Wuyu mountain, and a young monk wearing purple and a veil with dozens of golden stars on his back, schemed down, follow behind him. But Wulianjiao mountain did not stay at all, flew towards the direction where the patriarch Sushenxiu left. The cultivation practice of the 4 true disciples of Huang Tianzong is as far away as that of supernatural powers. Among the 4 true disciples, the cultivation practice of the other 2 true disciples is almost the same as that of Lu Weijin. Xiu Wei, and Lu Jinaiu is only in his 40s, is probably only a matter of time before breaking through Shen Xianqiu. Yin Liwa secretly whispered to the ears of Weisuo and others. Judging from the fact that Wang Xiancheng was unable to crush Ye Xiancheng, the strength of this level of sect gate in Yunling continent may still be above Xianfeng gate. Let the ban go away. After Yin Liwa heard the voice, she ordered it. The corpse sect has the strongest mountain protection ban, and the large formation of the Yin and haunted mansion closed the entire mountain gate. No one can enter or leave unless the ban is released. There is either no hands between Shenxian mighty, but hands on. The magical powers of both sides are extremely terrifying, even if the winning side may also suffer great damage from the other's magic, so the agreement between Shenxian mighty is impossible in violation. Yin Liwa was not afraid of Huang Piu's absolute beauty and Ye Xuanquan's words without faith, killing a carbine. Surrounded by 2 other true disciples, Lu Weijin fell into the gate of the zombie ancestor, and his body shone with divine light, just as the king of the gods descended into the world. I wonder if Lu Daiyu is here. What is there to discuss with us? Yin Liwa did not take Lu Weijin's 3 people deep, and directly took them into a nearby hall where the corpse sect was used for visiting. Purple yew bamboo is planted around this hall to isolate the yin qi. The whole hall is made of jadeite, and there is no harshness. Sect Master Yin, I would like to discuss things with you and this Taoist friend alone. If it is convenient, could you please leave the rest for a while? Lu Weijin and 2 other disciples of Huang Tianzong Zhen Chuan sat down in this hall and raised their hands. Is completely at the same level as Lin Taixu's style, a high above, overlooking the atmosphere like the world. This is natural. Yin Liwa and Wei Suo glanced at each other, and they were a little surprised in their hearts. Jia and others all left first, and only 3 disciples of Yin Tianhua, Wei Suo and Lu Weijin were left in the whole hall. Tianjianzong and Xuanfengmen Shenqian Dequan are close to kill you. Presumably this deist should be the domineering real person Wei Daiyu, Lu Weijin asked, looking at Wei Suo. The surname is Wei at the bottom. Wei Suo didn't move, and could not guess Lu Weijin's intention. Just before listening to what Shui Linger said, she has already formed in with you. I don't know if this matter is true. Lu Weijin glanced at Wei Suo deeply and asked. Wei Suo was stunned, and his brows were imperceptible. Lu Weijin asked this question abruptly, making him feel inexplicably uncomfortable. This matter is indeed true. I don't know why Lu Daiyu asks so. Wei Suo looked at Lu Weijin and asked. He is also very obsessed with Shui Linger, and if he reads right, Shui Linger is a superb Shui Ling root monk. He has just a spell underneath. He needs such a woman's Shui Ling's vitality, and can only be accomplished by flushing the flesh. Lu Weijin looked calm, and looked at Wei Suo. He wants to ask Wei Daiyu if he can let Shui Linger be my buddy. What? Yin Liwa and Wei Suo all changed their faces. The 2 thought that the leader of this true disciple of Huang Tianzong had any hidden secrets to find the 2 alone. Unexpectedly, this person even opened his mouth to ask Wei Suo to let the water out. Shui Linger is Wei Suo's companion, but a living person. He is not yet a refiner material or a magic weapon. Lu Weijin directly asked for it. Although the tone was calm, it was really rude and arrogant to the extreme. Of course, I won't let Wei Daiyu lose money. Seeing Wei Suo's complexion suddenly became gloomy, Lu Weijin's complexion was still very calm. His finger lightly gave people a feeling of power. I can give Wei Daiyu used a fairy level pill as compensation. At the moment, there is no shortage of Danyao. Wei Suo looked at Lu Weijin blankly, and said, I think it's better for Daiyu to dispel this idea. You are so rude to talk to my brother in this way. Lu Weijin's young monk wearing a crimson vest looked indifferent, with a threatening expression above him. Is it? How do I think it's already very polite for me to say this? Wei Suo glanced at the young monk wearing a crimson vest and said lightly. These ranks of monks who control the power are really more arrogant and overbearing. Even such direct pressure on the people and the discussion of the companions can be done. You have to figure out who you are talking to. Another real disciple of the Emperor Tiandao in a purple vestment sneered and sneered. If it were not for our sect master to help you out, now you have become a group of fly ash. That's not necessary. Wei Suo ignored the Emperor's Taoist disciple and looked at Lu Weijin. Is there anything else for Daiyu? Shui Linger belongs to me. I can help you to take the Xuanfengma. And Lu Weijin said nothing else, still pulling on Shui Linger's body. No, Wei Suo said without hesitation. Don't know what to lift. The disciple of the Emperor Heavenly Dao wearing a purple vest appeared angry and looked directly at Wei Suo. Don't think that the corpse sect joined the Dawa League and it's foolproof. The Dawa League still depends on our Huangtian Road backing. You have already spurred enemies like Xuanfengmen and Tianjianzong, and if we provoke our Emperor Heavenly Dao again, I don't believe you can stand in the world of monasticism. Another young monk in a crimson vest also couldn't help sneer. If there is nothing else, then there is no need to say more. Wei Suo was expressionless, lowered his eyelids, and did not look at the three men's faces. This disciple of the Emperor Tiandao in the crimson vest and the disciple of the Emperor Taoism in the purple vestment were only cultivated by Jin Dan. With such a role, Wei Suo can kill him at ordinary times. Such a practice, even daring to shout Xiao in front of him, threatened in person if these two are not disciples of the Emperor Heavenly Dao, otherwise these two guys may have been slapped directly by him. As for this Lu Weijin, Wei Suo also did not believe in his ability to compete with his hole-defying footwork and Zhentian law. And if it wasn't for Su Tianxiu, the patriarch of the celestial sect, who suddenly came, maybe he could already use the Beiming Duzwen and the Yuan Tian method to reinvent the imperial world. Then even if Ye Xiancheng arrived, with Ye Xuanhuan's strength, he could not break through. Mountain Gate of the Zombie Sect. Lu Weijin did this. Obviously he did not put him in the eye at all, which had already made his heart murderous, but at the present time, he could not do it. But to make him and these people good-natured, he certainly can't do it. Okay, Wei Daiyu, you have to think about it. Lu Weijin shook his hand and stood up, his face still calm, but his eyes flashed. Immediately, he did not greet Yin Liwa, went directly outside, and left the corpse sect directly. Asterisk. Since the major groups are basically full, the book friends have created a new VIP group, and the conditions for joining the group, book friends who subscribe to Tongtian. After joining the group, please provide a screenshot of the personal portal to the administrator to verify the identity. The Innocence Safflower Club is divided into VIPs, group number, 178771346. Book friends who are interested in communicating with other book friends can join the fun. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Ziyi. Chapter 780. Chapter 780 is all greedy. A golden tile-like fragment is suspended in front of Wei Suo's. This tile-like fragment was taken from the Zhong 11's treasure-receiving pocket. Only half a slab of great treasure was small, but there was a strong, great treasure, and divine mystic. Moreover, this tile is as hard as porcelain, and it is extremely hard. It can't be seen from what it is made of, but the cross-section is all very small, and the whole dong is hard to see. This hole is like a strip of rune, and the twists and turns are deep into the inside of this tile-like fragment, which is hard to say. You are concentrating on true Yuan in this thing, and try to spur a thunder attribute to shapeshift great art. This thing green-robed old man has never seen the record at all, and Ling Longtian's eyes flashed in gold, and after a careful look, it was said to Wei Suo. What the hell is this? Wei Suo and Yin Liwa and green-robed old man were very surprised. After Wei Suo focused on true Yuan, the tiled shapeshift great art great treasure suddenly popped up with the fluffy metal chi, like the mist tumbling, and Wei Suo and a golden snake thunder secret art went to the thing, and all the thunder lights were actually sucked in by this thing. You are out of the dog. This piece is the fraction of cross-distress golden tile. Cross-distress golden tile is an immortal artifact that can be refined by the ancient great treasure, which absorbs almost everything thunder glow. This thing was robbed on the venerable emperor in Huangtian, and it was damaged when it resisted heavenly tribulation. In the heavenly tribulation of the venerable emperor, some of the things left on the body were also wiped out by the great treasure at the time. This thing must have been passed down. Ling Longtian seems to be very upset about Wei Suo's ability to get so many good things. Looking at Wei Suo, this thing still has a lot of divine might, which can withstand the Liwen's shapeshift great art. It is also against the heavenly tribulation. Great treasure. You can absorb thunder glow and resist the heavenly tribulation to great treasure. Wei Suo couldn't help but swallow. When he was in Dragon Burial Mound, he was awakened by the white ancient heavenly dragon, let him feel the scene of heavenly tribulation, and learned that he might arrive at the divine mystic fourth layer cultivation base. Heavenly tribulation. Since the encounter with Ling Longtian, the old heavenly tribulation, he also learned a lot from the mouth of Ling Longtian, although each cultivator will have a great treasure because of the heavenly tribulation inspired by the shapeshift great art. Different, unpredictable, but almost every cultivator welcomes heavenly tribulation. The earth chi shock dang too strong, will lead to endless thunder glow. For any cultivator that wants to lift heavenly tribulation, this kind of thing is rare to great treasure. The complete cross distress golden tile has been damaged, and if faced with true heavenly tribulation, the broken cross distress golden tile can only serve a little. Seeing Wei Suo's excitement, Ling Longtian was uncomfortable hitting Wei Suo. What are these two yao? Wei Suo also didn't bicker with Ling Longtian, and his eyes were attracted by the two danyao taken by Ling Longtian. These two danyao are absolutely extraordinary. One of them is frozen in a million years of black ice, showing a bright yellow, and a burst of bright yellow flashes, it seems to breathe. Another danyao is housed in a black small tripod. Longan like great treasure is small, the whole danyao is completely transparent, crystal clear, like crystal, but the brilliance inside is naturally condensed into a flying fairy. This is Dong Virtual Fairy. It is the ancient Dan of the ancient Dong Virtual Refining. This kind of danyao is immortal level danyao, which is said to be able to increase the cultivation base of the female cultivator by the great treasure. As soon as I saw the transparent danyao in the black ding, Yin Liwa and green-robed old man had such a surging sound. They were very excited. Immortal level danyao? Lu Weijin, this sentence does not lie, his body is really immortal level danyao. Just give Nangong Yuking and Han Wei them a promotion base. Wei Suo sneered a surging sound and took the danyao first. This danyao was taken from Lu Weijin's treasure receiving pocket, when Lu Weijin directly asked Shui Ling that is, to compensate Wei Suo for an immortal level danyao. This danyao is older than the Wangsuan ice outside. It should not be a product. Ling Longtian's eyes flashed, looking at the strange fist, the great treasure, the bright yellow yao. You don't know this danyao? Green-robed old man took a look at Ling Longtian. This should be to keep the yao force not to scatter and seal the danyao in the ice. He also did not see the relevant records. Great treasure is like the sea, and I am sleeping longer than you. How can I fully understand it? Ling Longtian took a surging sound and clicked Yufeng Reverend, who was fainted by Wei Suonang. This old guy has lived for at least 5 or 6 years. You have to ask him anyway. It is better to ask questions if he knows this. What is it? Is there any other good things in these guys? Wei Suo reached out and took all the things from Lu Weijin ETAL's treasure receiving pocket. I still want to have something like this. You are too greedy for the dead liar. Ling Longtian sharpening teeth, to be honest, this harvest has been amazing for her, like cross distress golden tile, eternal youth dark pill including heavenly sea billowing divine mirror, no beginning sword scripture, even for the level of great treasure, it is rare to great treasure. These guys shapeshift great art clothes are also good, there are also a few flying spoons, shapeshift great art great treasure. Although Cloud Spirit Continent Cultivator shapeshift great art great treasure on average than heavenly profound scarce, but Lu Weijin these prince level characters, shapeshift great art great treasure is a lot of treasure receiving pocket is still a lot of things. Wei Suo all take out, dazzling, several pieces of shapeshift great art, rank is above Dao rank, and each has a good flying done shapeshift great art great treasure and several other attack seeing and defensive shapeshift great art. Great treasure, a gold cut attack on Wenshu shapeshift great art great treasure energy reach powerful rank middle grade, although the remaining pieces are not mystic rank, powerful energy is also above the Dao rank middle grade. Although these things are not in the eyes of Ling Longtian, for the golden core stage cultivator, there is a great treasure. How do these things secret place? Yin Liwa glanced at Wei Suo and squinted. When you grabbed the treasure receiving pocket on these people, many people saw it. Even if Heavenly Emperor Dao loses, there is no shapeshift great art to deal with you publicly. It must be something that will come back to these people. We also have no reason to stay. Just leave them a normal danyao and treasure receiving pocket, and the rest of the things are taken away. Anyway, restrictions were all broken by Steel Teeth younger sister, and they couldn't possibly sense it. The treasure receiving pocket gave them and said that they only have these things in the treasure receiving pocket. Wei Suo reach out a little, will those shapeshift great art clothing, shapeshift great art great treasure and so on, all rolled to Ling Longtian body, only some of the most common Danyao and other sundry, back to Lu Weijin and other people's treasure receiving pocket. Steel Teeth younger sister, your shapeshift great art clothing is very peculiar, even if divine consciousness exploration also can't detect, you put away these things, each other should be how can not be present. I see you are really greedy. Ling Longtian is dissatisfied, but after all of these things have been collected into her sleeves are very strange. She can't feel the shapeshift great art great treasure of the great treasure class. Divine consciousness probes into the air. There is no abnormality, but it is like a bottomless dong. There is no reaction to collecting a bunch of things. Deceased liar, if this great treasure will have something I am looking for, you have to help me with one piece of interest as interest after collecting these things. Ling Longtian added another sentence. Good. Wei Suo answered very simply. After so long contact with Ling Longtian, although the Steel Teeth younger sister more than 60,000 years ago was very weird, many secret places, and Wei Suo sure she had a place to use herself, but he also felt that Ling Longtian there is nothing malicious about himself, so he is his ally. Dead swindlers are so easy to answer, unlike your usual style. I am very suspicious, Wei Suo replied simply. Ling Longtian was a bit skeptical, couldn't help but look at Wei Suo and said this. Look at what's on his body, that black fragment seems to be very useful. Wei Suo glanced at Ling Longtian and pointed the treasure receiving pocket on Yufeng Reverend to Ling Longtian. And Yufeng Reverend, a grade of old antique, has made Wei Suo very disappointed. It is estimated that he is eager to save people. There is nothing in the treasure receiving pocket. There are one or two shapeshift great art great treasures. It was damaged when it resisted the explosion of the annihilation golden core. And Zigza Reverend is the cultivation base of the golden core 5th layer late stage. The golden core powerful energy is very powerful. Wei Suo is not completely grasped yet. It is estimated that he will go to the golden core 4th layer late stage to secure him. The golden core is made into the annihilation golden core. This is a single divine mark, used exclusively for restrictions. This is the complete shapeshift great art great treasure, which may be banned for thousands of miles. Let the cultivator within tens of thousands of miles escape. Only this divine mark should be divine lord level great treasure can understand. This thing does not have true immortal chi interest, should not be able to hold the level of divine mystic great treasure of Wu Wei. Ling Longtian took the black fragment first. On the black fragment, there is a fish scale texture, which gives the impression that the entire shapeshift great art device may be a fish scale U disc or a flat U mirror. Wei Suo nodded and reached for a hand. A true Yuan went directly to Yufeng Reverend and woke up Yufeng Reverend Nang. To kill, my fearless heavenly palace and sky sword sect, mystic wind sect, true martial sect must not let you off. Yufeng Reverend can speak, and suddenly grows up, incomparably complaining. Do not talk nonsense, obediently answer my questions, I can give you a good time. Otherwise I will deal with you with this Dao technique shapeshift great art. Wei Suo had no surface lust, reached out, and used True Yuan's hand, shapeshift great art, to create a classic and pointed to Yufeng Reverend. Just looking at the book that Wei Suo condensed, Yufeng Reverend suddenly changed his face, and he couldn't speak for a while. Wei Suo's Scriptures Depository in Yin Corp Sect's Scriptures Depository has no other amazing appearances except for the inexplicable gray skeleton. However, some of the cumbersome cultivator methods have gained a lot. In particular, Yin Corp Sect itself is a sect based on various monster beast and cultivator artifact refinement. This technique, Wei Suo's shapeshift great art, is 9 severe rotten corpse technique, after shapeshift great art, to cultivator fleshly body slowly decay, absorbing yin li poisonous chi, into a rotten poison corpse. This kind of rotting poison corpse only with complete golden core cultivator can be refined, and in the process of decay into poison corpse, this is refined golden core cultivator or not die, completely under the control of shapeshift great art, when the enemy, can be shapeshift. Great art as a piece of shapeshift great art device burst open. If you don't obediently answer my question, I don't mind slowly refining it into such a poisonous body, and then let you go directly to Fearless Heavenly Palace and let you blow up at Fearless Heavenly Palace. Wei Suo glanced at Yu Feng Reverend, removing the shapeshift great art from shapeshift great art, Yin Corpse sect and soul pulling technique, and many other shapeshift great art, or refining you into a bronze armor. You keep your face unchanged, and it's good to be with me for my enemies. You are so sinister, you will be thundering. Yu Feng Reverend trembled and screamed. Like him, there is not much life essence of old antique, death is not afraid, but by cao vertical, or even into a corpse shapeshift great art, but not only him, even Fearless Heavenly Palace has no face. This is what he did without shapeshift great art. I am thundering, Wei Suo sneered. Like your sect, you are deceiving. You don't know how many people are killed. You have to fight thunder and you can't take me. You talk and count, really give me a good time, don't take my corpse artifact refinement. Yu Feng Reverend is finally unable to withstand the psychology, said the surging sound. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 781. Chapter 781, The Fallen Secret Place. The body of the 781 chapter of The Fallen Secret Place. I have always been very reputable. For the original Eastern Jade Paradise, you should also know a little about it. Wei Suo glanced at Yu Feng Reverend and said. Hey, credibility is a problem. Ling Longtian sneaked in his heart, on business. Use only your golden core at most. Wei Suo looked at Yu Feng Reverend and added one. Bah! I knew it. Ling Longtian is also in his heart, on business. What do you want to know? Yu Feng Reverend didn't have a trace of blood on his face, and finally he completely compromised and asked. This black fragment, where did you come from, what is the origin? Wei Suo clicked on the black fragment of Divine Mark, first asked. This is the home of my Fearless Heavenly Palace, with the heaven sealing Divine Mark, within the Divine Domain, and even the spatial teleportation shapeshift great art great treasure. Without the shapeshift great art, Yu Feng Reverend, who looks so bleak, said slowly. But not only the shapeshift great art array, but the shapeshift great art great treasure of the Purple Yang Palace of Zhong 11 is not used by shapeshift great art. Wei Suo remembers very clearly that when he killed Zhong 11, Yu Feng Reverend has already put away this black Yu. With Su Qianhuan, he is the second time to encounter this shapeshift great art great treasure. He is also very jealous of this kind of thing in this class of sect princes. In case you want to kill one of these cultivators next time, the result is a sudden surging sound of a divine mystic great treasure, then he is extremely dangerous. This is made by Scorpio Emperor Yu, which can make this divine mark powerful energy expand the treasure several times, unless it is a precious treasure above true immortal third layer, or a precious treasure above true immortal third layer. Great arts shapeshift great art great treasure can break this divine mark restrictions. What is the great treasure in your treasure receiving pocket? Wei Suo still uses the void walking footwork and keeps on going, asking directly. There is still a pot of 9 yin weapon refining water, and there are no special great treasures. Yu Feng Reverend replied. There should be no mistake, there is a pot of 9 yin weapon refining water. There are no other good things in the other. Ling Longtian returned Yu Feng Reverend's treasure receiving pocket to Wei Suo. 9 yin weapon refining water? What is it? Wei Suo divine consciousness swept away and grabbed a bronze pot. Only 2 slaps of great treasure were small, but extremely heavy, like the water with thousands of pounds. A kind of god water left by the ancient yin and yang religions is said to be used to refine divine weapons. Water, when it is used to refine a divine weapon, it absorbs a part of divine weapon's powerful energy. Green-robed old man, this kind of thing, I heard that when Yu Feng Reverend woke up, green-robed old man had hidden, and explained in Wei Suo's ear, this kind of god water is said to be Ji. The powerful energy is amazing and it breaks the fire attribute origin Qi. This thing can also withstand the thunder fire in heavenly tribulation. Ancient, a lot of great treasure can find. This thing is not available. I did not expect to resist the heavenly tribulation thing. You have got another one. Ling Longtian added something that was uncomfortable. This kind of god water is like shapeshift great art, use true Yung directly. Wei Suo sneaked in and felt that the 9 yin weapon refining water in this pot was very strange. There seemed to be a kind of Hun chaotic origin Qi in the water. The strange origin Qi is obviously not divine mark, but it seems to carry a kind of the strange shapeshift great art. What is the power of this kind of thing? With true Yuan infiltration, it can be combined with true Yuan to explode unique powerful energy. Just like controlling true Yuan, powerful energy can reach half immortal level, but against fire attribute, shapeshift great art and fire attribute shapeshift great art great treasure. Powerful energy up to immortal level, Yu Feng Reverend said. A shapeshift great art great treasures scouring water can have such a powerful energy. What kind of thing was divine weapon, which was originally yin and yang? Wei Suo couldn't help but feel a little shocked. I know that ancient yin and yang teaching is definitely not the same, but these are not urgent, you can ask later. So after collecting the black ya fragment and 9 yin weapon refining water, he then looked at Yu Feng Reverend and asked, do you have a shape level great level and a shapeshift great art? My skill shapeshift great art is heaven level low grade, and only one attack. Shapeshift great art is heaven level mid level. What kind of heaven level mid level is shapeshift great art? It's a joke. Do you know the origin of this Dan Yao? Wei Suo listened to Yu Feng Reverend's heaven level mid level shapeshift great art. In his heart, it seems that he may not be comparable to Dark Emperor Sword Qi, so he did not make Yu Feng Reverend the shadow shift great art. Listed. First, put the bright yellow Yao sealed in the ice of the ice to the front of Yu Feng Reverend. This is Yang Harmony Immortal Pill. Yu Feng Reverend saw this Dan Yao, but also a little shocked. The eyes unconsciously flashed a greedy look, but immediately it was a grey face, obviously thinking of his current reality secret place. This Yang Harmony Immortal Pill can prevent fleshly body from becoming woody when breaking divine mystic. Fleshly body wood. Wei Suo's eyes suddenly flashed. He himself wanted to ask about divine mystic cultivation base from Yu Feng Reverend, because Yu Feng Reverend and divine mystic are infinitely close, even if there is not much life essence. According to common sense, he must also hold there is a breakout and I am ready to break through divine mystic. Breaking through the words divine mystic at the moment, he completely beat his heartstring. What is fleshly body wood? He immediately asked. When it breaks into divine mystic, the golden core breaks through, and there will be amazing core chi immersed in the fleshly body, which will make the fleshly body unique life essence, including vitality, divine consciousness, etc., will be very the improvement of great treasure. However, if the core chi infiltrated by the fleshly body is too much, it will cause the whole body to become woodized, just like turning into a real spiritual Yao ancient trees. This kind of core chi explosion is said to be difficult to control. It is said that there are several cultivators, which may be woodized. Therefore, in order to prevent this kind of lust shape, it is generally ready to repair the divine mystic cultivator art, or this kind of spiritual Yao. Either block a part of core chi, or rely on this kind of spiritual Yao force to prevent fleshly body become rigid into a piece of Ling Muo. Yu Feng Reverend replied, but using this spirit pellet to prevent the fleshly body from becoming wood is much better than blocking the part of core chi by shapeshift great art, because the more core chi infiltrated by the fleshly body, the more the fleshly body is lifted more, and it is said that the next generation of divine mystic shapeshift great art, the powerful energy will be higher. How much do you know about the cultivation base of Divine Mystic realm? What do you need to do to break through Divine Mystic? Wei Suo took a deep breath and asked him the topic he most wanted to know. Golden core is broken, fleshly body is mysterious, and shapeshift great art is turned out. This is the natural shapeshift great art when it breaks into Divine Mystic. When golden core is repaired to the peak of the 5th layer, it will naturally break through the wall, the golden core will be crushed, turned into origin chi, change the fleshly body, and then condense the shapeshift great art. Yu Feng Reverend obviously see the Wei Suo's intention, but he was afraid Wei Suo will he refining into what maliciousness ghost, also dare not have what, a piece said, in addition to heart demon invasion and fleshly body would the second D-layer catastrophe, naturally condensed shapeshift great art phase, but also the astonishing origin chi, otherwise divine mystic shapeshift great art. Without shapeshift great art absorb enough origin chi, will Joe cultivator naked body all origin chi, essence of blood, then cultivator fall and shapeshift great art phase, impact divine mystic then failed. Complete failure. The required origin chi must be origin chi with the same shapeshift great art. That is, what I have done is the water attribute gong shapeshift great art. When it comes to breaking through the divine mystic shapeshift great art, what must be prepared to supplement the water attribute spiritual chi with a great treasure? Wei Suo understands the meaning of Yu Feng Reverend's words, sinking yin. Yes, divine mystic shapeshift great art is equivalent to another body of the cultivator. It is said that the shapeshift great art and the cultivator are usually the same as the shapeshift great art. It is just a more grand treasure, shapeshift great art. At that time, the fleshly body is without shapeshift great art controls, and only shapeshift great art can follow the shapeshift great art, refining Ling Yao and so on. So these can usually be used for culture, to enhance the spiritual base of the cultivation base, etc., and cannot be taken at first, can only be prepared. Wait until the shapeshift great art first condenses, wait for shapeshift great art to refining. Otherwise, in the fleshly body naked body, the fleshly body is not used by shapeshift great art, the Yao force cannot be melted, and finally the fleshly body can't support and collapse. Yu Feng Reverend only asked Wei Suo to give him a good time, so it was very detailed. So it is Wei Suo asked a few more questions and finally understood it completely. At the time of this divine mystic breakthrough, the original spiritual stones and other things did not use secret place, but the great treasure quantity can supplement the spiritual Yao of the original origin chi. Shapeshift great art at the time of golden core is not obvious, but divine mystic shapeshift great art phase, there will be clear latitude and longitude. There are obvious differences, such as cultivation for each shapeshift great art cultivator, almost certainly will form a flame divine lord, just the appearance and divine ability press shapeshift great art respective different, cultivation thunder attribute, will certainly form REI divine lord, endless thunder glow, Wei Suo's work shapeshift. Great art, must be formed a water attribute God's shapeshift great art phase. Only Wei Suo's gong shapeshift great art itself can refine the water attribute monster core, so when Wei Suo wants to break through divine mystic, it must also prepare the water attribute monster core for the great treasure, for the initial condensing shapeshift great art refining, supplement origin chi. If you change the cultivator of the general water attribute function shapeshift great art and break through divine mystic, you need to use the great treasure water attribute monster core to remove the unfavorable Yao force and refined into the water attribute spirit pellet. How much spirit pellet do you want to prepare for great treasure? I don't know the number of naked bodies, according to some records I have received, it is estimated to be at least as good as when the golden core 5th layer initial stage breaks through to the peak of the golden core 5th layer late stage. After breaking through divine mystic has a lot of dangers. Is there any danger when it breaks? As far as I know, it seems that there is only one level to divine mystic 4th layer, but with a naked body. I don't know, but between every cultivation base, it is said that the spirit pellet and other things needed for culture are at least doubled. So much. Divine mystic, sure enough, divine mystic, Wei Suo took a deep breath, couldn't help but smile in the heart. After so many days in Yin Corp Sec's continuous refining monster core, breaking through the golden core fourth layer middle stage, culture, he already felt that counting the water attribute monster core that he had spent before, at least 80,000 level 4's water attribute monster core will allow you to break through the golden core fourth layer to the golden core fifth layer. According to this calculation, from the golden core fifth layer initial stage to the peak of the golden core, I am afraid that at least 100,000 level 4 water attribute monster core. Just breaking through a divine mystic, at least you have to prepare so much, then break through. Divine mystic's culture is really difficult to get into the sky, especially if he is okay, he can directly refine the water attribute monster core, the high level water attribute monster core, which is already a rare Yao for him, but for the general divine mystic great treasure can be said, after breaking through to divine mystic, and then want to upgrade the cultivation base, I am afraid it is really a pile of great treasures. The general spirit Yao and spirit pellet, the amount of spiritual chi that can be provided, is too small for divine mystic great treasure. And Yufeng Reverend, the old antique, only knows what to do when it breaks through divine mystic. It seems that I don't know much about divine mystic above. Divine mystic third layer and above are estimated to be rare, because the great treasure above divine mystic third layer can be even rarer. Many divine mystic great treasures can also stop at the cultivation base of divine mystic first layer and second layer. Fearless Heavenly Palace, is there a divine mystic great treasure now? Wei Suo asked a few more questions about divine mystic cultivation and determined that Yufeng Reverend had no more to tell divine mystic cultivation. Then he asked, "My fearless Heavenly Palace, Yufeng Reverend, who was grayed out, was unable to speak at the moment and stayed for a while." And Wei Suo immediately glanced at Yufeng Reverend. "My fearless Heavenly Palace doesn't have divine mystic great treasure." Yufeng Reverend said something tough. "Your look is a bit different. Is there any hidden lust?" Wei Suo looked at the words and asked immediately. "How do I hear that your fearless Heavenly Palace has divine mystic great treasure?" At the same time, Wei Suo deliberately said such a sentence. The original fearless Heavenly Palace Lord was divine mystic cultivation base, but he was in the heavenly profound conductant northern part before the heavenly profound continent northern part beast tide. Yufeng Reverend hesitated, and was forced to look at Wei Suo's eyes and finally said. Wei Suo and Yin Liwa, green-robed old man, suddenly couldn't help but aok a deep breath. Can divine mystic great treasure fall on heavenly profound continent northern part? The news was a bit surprising and they were shocked. "Why is it fallen?" Wei Suo immediately asked. "Intuition, there is a great treasure hidden secret place. I tested Heaven's Dome powerful energy with Northern Bright Sect Master, Netherworld Palace Lord and others. The result was completely degraded by Heaven's Dome powerful energy backlash." Yufeng Reverend has a bitterness on the grey-faced face. Northern Bright Sect Master is also divine mystic great treasure, and divine ability is still on top of Yexian Cheng. The cause is the Heaven's Dome continuous breach, and Northern Bright Sect suspects that Heaven's Dome will soon live. My fearless Heavenly Palace and Northern Bright Sect Jiao are good. If my Palace Lord is fallen, our fearless Heavenly Palace will not choose to rely on Mystic Wind Sect and True Martial Section. What? Yufeng Reverend. When this statement came out, Wei Suo and others all suddenly had great treasure eyes. Northern Bright Sect Master fallen, it turns out to be true. No wonder Northern Bright Sect has no shapeshift great art to resist the beast Nebsp. No wonder Netherworld Palace Lord Serene Emperor's Nether Heavenly Dragon in Lizii. Lizii has lightning waning moon. It seems that Lizii is the next palace of Netherworld Palace Lord. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Ziyi. Chapter 782. Chapter 782 is really coming. Northern Bright Sect Master and Netherworld Palace Lord turned out to be really degraded, and together with the fearless Heavenly Palace Sect Master, so many heavenly profound continent top grade characters, all fell in a test Heaven's Dome powerful energy among them. This news is really amazing. Do you know how many divine mystic great treasures did heavenly profound continent have? Wei Suo took a deep breath, calmed down and asked. As far as I know, there are already 7 people: Mystic Wind Sect Master, True Martial Sect Master, Jade Heaven Sect Master, Western Immortal Dwelling Sect Master. Now in addition to these 4, Sky Sword Sect, Northern Bright Sect and my divine mystic great treasure of fearless heavenly palace have fallen. Yufeng Reverend has been stunned for a few years. He hasn't had shapeshift great art stepping into divine mystic. He knows that it's hard to get to divine mystic. The whole heavenly profound continent, he knows divine mystic cultivator, but 7, but the more so, the more he trembled, the divine mystic great treasure of a magical power, actually fell into the hands of Wei Suos. This is tantamount to the real god of the gods. A total of 7, only 4 of them, Wei Suo Shenyin. There are only 4 divine lord characters in the entire great treasure, and the current cultivation world is really weak. Ling Longtian is in the dark. In her time, although divine mystic great treasure was extremely rare, it was also the top presence in the cultivation world, but it was far more than that. Every few hundred years, there is a great treasure that can be seen. You fearless heavenly palace, what is the heaven level great rank and the shapeshift great art, and what is the immortal artifact heritage? Wei Suo Shenyin a bit, and continued to ask. Our fearless heavenly palace has no immortal artifact heritage, but has a heaven level great art fearless ancient scripture and a heaven level great shape no art great restrictive technique. Yufeng Reverend bit his teeth and continued. What is the magic of this work, shapeshift great art and shapeshift great art? Who is it now? Is it only the successor of the sect master? Can it be the shapeshift great art and the shapeshift great art? Wei Suo asked very carefully, and fearless heavenly palace must be his great treasure enemy in the future. Heaven rank great and shape level great art are threats to great treasure for anyone. Fearless ancient scripture repaired to golden core, fleshly body even if it is broken, as long as the golden core does not destroy, you can quickly reaggregate the fleshly body. No room great restrictive technique is a seal strong shapeshift great art that can confine people to a certain area. The powerful energy is amazing. It is said to be built on divine mystic. You can understand the shapeshift great art and even make people into the void. In the crack, in general, with the naked body, I have never seen this sacred shapeshift great art and shapeshift great art. Yufeng Reverend replied, the 2 works of shapeshift great art, only sect master inherits talents can be cultivation. Now the successor of the palace lord of fearless heavenly palace is true disciple. Fearless ancient scripture, this is similar to the ancient military solution of the scripture great art, no room great restrictive technique, seems to be somewhat similar to the ancient void. Ling Longtian frowned, and the fearless heavenly palace's shapeshift great art and shapeshift great art also made her feel a bit extraordinary. What is the cultivation base now? Wei Suo also frowned. Heaven level top rank shapeshift great art and heaven level top grade shapeshift great art, fearless heavenly palace actually have this level of heaven level great shapeshift great art and shapeshift great art. It would be dangerous if there was a great base cultivator with a cultivation base. At this moment, he thought that fearless heavenly palace had a chance to deal with it first. It is the golden core 3rd layer cultivation base. Yufeng Reverend replied. Have you heard of Buddha nature holy fruit? Wei Suo looked at Yufeng Reverend. Can you know the news about this kind of holy fruit? Buddha nature holy fruit, I have heard of it, it's just that this kind of holy fruit is rare, I don't know where this kind of holy fruit is. Yufeng Reverend said bitterly. Do you have any last words? Wei Suo nodded and looked at Yufeng Reverend calmly. Without Bo he has asked almost the same questions, and he can send Yufeng Reverend on the road. Yufeng Reverend shuddered and knew that his great treasure was coming, and he couldn't speak for a while, but after biting his teeth, he finally looked at Wei Suo and said, I have something to do. If you promise me this request, I will tell you something lust. What is it? Wei Suo looked at Yufeng Reverend. In my fearless heavenly palace, there is a miscellaneous disciple named Lu Zhong. This person is born with a natural talent and is dumb. It is not suitable for path of cultivation, but this person has a relationship with me. I am at Fearless Heavenly Palace. At the time of Huishan cultivation, he only thought that I was an ordinary old man and took care of me. Yu Feng Reverend looked at Wei Suo. I only beg you, if one day, if my Fearless Heavenly Palace is against you, if you hit the Fearless Heavenly Palace, let this person live a life. Wei Suo glimpsed, after flickered for a moment, said, if I promise you this condition, what are you going to tell me? Yu Feng Reverend hesitated and said, I have a coincidence in a secret place. I have a blue stone. The appearance is the same as that of ordinary blue stone. But inside the stone, there are some patterns, and it is like the divine mark left by the trial. Also like classics. And the external force invaded, I bombarded with true UN and shapeshift great art, and no shapeshift great art hit the blue stone at all, and at most only cut off the outer stone. And that piece of blue stone is heavier than the giant mountain, there is no shapeshift great art perturbation, and even the treasure receiving pocket, etc., are not collected by shapeshift great art. This blue stone is definitely something that ancient great treasure can leave behind. As long as you agree to my conditions, I will tell you about this blue stone in the secret place. Is that blue stone material really ordinary blue stone? When he heard Yu Feng Reverend say, Ling Longtian was taken aback and asked for surging sound. There is no difference between the blue stone and the rest of the blue stone on the mountain. It stands in many blue stones. It is difficult to judge. Divine consciousness is no different. But divine consciousness goes deep into it, but it will feel the pattern in it. Blazing divine light, Yu Feng Reverend said. That piece of blue stone is definitely not a product. After answering a sentence, Yu Feng Reverend looked at Wei Suo. Can you agree to my conditions? Wei Suo sank for a moment and looked at Yu Feng Reverend. If I let you go, can you guarantee that Fearless Heavenly Palace is not against me? What, you? Yu Feng Reverend stunned and looked at Wei Suo incredulously. Green-robed old man and Ling Longtian and Yin Liwa are also a glimpse, because listening to Wei Suo's means that Yu Feng Reverend is going to be released. I and Fearless Heavenly Palace, there is no hate of special great treasure, just because you have a cultivator to help Mystic Wind Sect deal with me, and I am killed. Wei Suo's looks no change, looking at Yu Feng Reverend, and there is no great treasure of hello between you and me. As long as you can guarantee that Fearless Heavenly Palace is not against me, I may not be able to put it. You don't have to let me promise to let go of the casual mission that is close to you. I can guarantee that I will not be against you, but I can't guarantee that everyone in Fearless Heavenly Palace will not be against you. Because I only have a lot of life essence, and Fearless Heavenly Palace has a supreme elder like me. If he and the Palace Lord's successor decide something, I don't have shapeshift great art to stop it. Yu Feng Reverend said after watching Wei Suo for a moment. I want to plant a restrictions in your naked body. You go back to heavenly profound continent. There is no problem at all, but if you are against me, I will think that you will fall. This is the restrictions. If you are not guaranteed to be against me, let me apply shapeshift great art and plant this restrictions. Wei Suo reached out and True Yuan condensed a shapeshift great art, suspended in front of Yu Feng Reverend. Good. Yu Feng Reverend just took a look and gave a surging sound. Although Wei Suo wants to plant restrictions in his naked body, he feels that Wei Suo is extremely honest, just to guard against him and Wei Suo, and if Wei Suo really wants to let him, he doesn't have to be like this. The means, and this Dao technique shapeshift great art is exactly the same as Wei Suo said, no problem. In this case, then I will apply shapeshift great art. Wei Suo nodded and reached for a hand, and several green lights hit the yucked body of Yu Feng Reverend. Immediately, Wei Suo took out another healing Danao and blood essence stone, and made a drop of Yao liquid. After opening it with True Yuan, he also entered the nude body of Yu Feng Reverend, and then he untied restrictions on Yu Feng Reverend. Thank you for fellow deist way to complain with Germany. Yu Feng Reverend took a deep breath and gave a great treasure to Wei Suo. Mother Hummer, lost in annihilation. Golden core green-robed old man screamed a surging sound. If the fearless heavenly palace decides to be an enemy of me, then you will arrange it so that those who listen to you and who are not willing to be with me will leave the fearless heavenly palace. You can also leave blood for the fearless heavenly palace. Wei Suo looked at Yu Feng Reverend and said this. This is not a great treasure. At this moment, fearless heavenly palace does not have divine mystic great treasure. With his divine ability, fearless heavenly palace, no one can resist it. And he has the void walking footwork, to come and go, killing the cultivator of fearless heavenly palace. I am afraid no one can resist. And with the combination of Ling Longtian, I am afraid that the mountain protecting restriction of fearless heavenly palace may not be able to withstand it. Make it go according to fellow deist. Yu Feng Reverend nodded and said, the blue stone is in the middle of a secret place, one Yuan stone valley in the back hill of my fearless heavenly palace. Fellow deist, whenever I arrive at fearless heavenly palace, just set up shapeshift great art to contact me. I will definitely take fellow deist to go. In the middle of the fearless heavenly palace. Although in the middle of my fearless heavenly palace, it should just be that ancient has a great treasure to stay there, and it should have nothing to do with my fearless heavenly palace. In my fearless heavenly palace's classics, there is no record that my previous fear treasure of the fearless heavenly palace can be practiced in the secret place. Yu Feng Reverend explained. Don't go over this. After a few more words, Yu Feng Reverend left with Wei Suo. Deceased liar, can't see you still have some kindness. You are listening to this person who wants you to take care of that dumb, so he has let go of this person. But you are still a G on business. You have the ability to even black fragment and 9 yin weapon refining water also give people. His life essence is not long, it doesn't matter if he stays with him, or I help him save it. Bah! It's nice to say. Wei Suo continued to move the void walking footwork and soon arrived before the next city. It is the Wei surname cultivator. When Wei Suo and Ling Longtian appeared, they suddenly caused a sensation. It turns out that the shapeshift great art array connecting Maishan city and the city has been repaired at this moment, and there are many means of communication between the cultivators themselves, so even though it is directly pursued, Wei Suo's Lu Jinyu and others have not yet arrived, but Wei Suo's killing of divine mystic great treasure in Maishan city and the news of Lu Weijin and others have been thoroughly spread. Regardless of the reaction of the cultivator in the city, Wei Suo went straight through the shapeshift great art array and quickly arrived outside the Heaven Transformation Cult. On the outskirts of Heaven Transformation Cult, it is the Tiancheng city, built on the top of the 5 hills. Among the 5 hills, there is a huge grey treasure valley covered in white light. The square does not know how many miles there are. Among them, there is a huge mountain that is several times higher than the 5 surrounding hills. The whole mountain is covered with white clouds. Immersed, the faint divine light flashes like a legendary fairyland. In the valley of the valley, there are several white U platforms. Behind the white U platform, there is a long U path leading from the clouds to Yishan. There are many escape lights, from time to time, flying through the gaps of the 5 hills where the Tiancheng is located, landing on the white U platform in the clouds. The cultivator among these escape lights is the top figure of each sect. In addition to the top figures of each sect, I don't know how many old antiques, great treasure cultivators come. This is a veritable event that is hard to see. This sun is really coming. When Wei Suo appeared, outside the Heaven Transformation Cult, it was a sensation. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 783. Chapter 783 The Millennium Festival. Killing divine mystic, even the 3 princes, even the old antiques that the Purple Yang Palace rushed to rescue through shapeshift great art great treasure were killed. This kind of thing is too amazing, and the degree of spread is unimaginable. At this moment, the awesome great treasure wave has already started. Even the heavenly Emperor Dao's true disciple has been killed, and I dare to come to participate in the great treasure. This person can even kill divine mystic great treasure. Is it really amazing divine ability? This great treasure will definitely not be calm. Purple Yang sect and a wide array of shapeshift great arts old antiques have been waiting here, maybe they will be played right away. Many of the narratives that saw the arrival of Wei Suo along the way were unbearable and secretly discussed. The surname Wei, you dare to come, a surging sound rang out, and 5 old men ran out from the front of the white yutai in a secret place cloud, intercepting Wei Suo and others. You guys, Wei Suo does not move the surging sound color, calming out the surging sound. Hearing some of the arguments of the cultivator along the way, he knows that these should be the cultivators of Purple Yang sect and the wide shapeshift great art. Do you have a cultivator for heavenly profound continent? Don't you understand the rules? An old man in black was cold and stared at him. See me, wait for at least a surging sound. My Deo companion is Yin Corp sect master. If you want to talk about seniority, you will be at the same time as my peers, Wei Suo calmly responded. Sure enough, it's a big mouth. Another yellow robe veteran. Surging sound sounds cold and biting, killing intent. Young people are too strong and easy to die. Since ancient times, they have not known how many geniuses are because they are too mad and sharp, and the results are all at a young age. A Chinese costume veteran also said coldly, and all of them are killing intent. Both Zhong 11 and Wen Shu are two great sects who have spent a lot of thoughts and cultivated, and the great treasure disciple, both sect master successors, have been killed by Wei Suo, which makes their hearts full of anger. If it weren't for Wei Suo's divine ability to kill divine mystic, it might have already started. Your words are justified. Wei Suo looked at the old man in the Chinese costume and smiled. But I am not the disciple of your section. You should teach you sect's disciple so much. You, Wei Suo. This sentence is exported. The old man of this Chinese costume is bloody red, and his body is full of breath. You don't take our two great sects in the eye. A purple old man gave a look to the other old people, indicating that the 4 old people were ready to shoot. Even if Wei Suo is lost, if Wei Suo kills them before heaven transformation cult, then the lust must be non-great treasure and it is difficult to end. If you want to play, then you have to wait for Su sect master to judge and then fight. If you are here to do it, but when you in this great treasure meeting, not afraid of Su sect master anger? Wei Suo has long seen the intentions of these old people. Sneer. A surging sound, step by step, and the figure suddenly disappeared in front of these old people. Directly use the void walking footwork to bring all of Ling Longtian and others to a secret place. White platform. What is this? Shapeshift great art. Around, all the cultivators who saw the scene were all shocked. Wei Suo etal and the secret place White U platform are at least separated from each other. It is a direct crossing, leaving all the old antiques behind. The body of the 5 old privates of Purple Yang sect and the wide shapeshift great art is all trembled. Wei Suo's shapeshift great art and shapeshift great art, far from their imagination, even if they only used shapeshift great art, they were not blocked by shapeshift great art. If you leave, you will completely ignore their existence, which will make them faceless. Wei Suo has already swayed the old man of Black Wind section. The old man is looking white, snow white, but white. He doesn't know what to say. We are the cultivator for Yin Corp sect and Black Wind section. Can you go in now? After Wei Suo appeared on the bio platform, he calmly confronted several heaven transformation cult disciple who were obviously waiting to meet. These heaven transformation cult disciples are all wearing white shapeshift great art clothes. At the age of 20, they all have the cultivation base of thought division realm. It is also very shocking to see Wei Suo suddenly appear in front of me. It is Lu Jinaiu. There is also the Lantern Reverend. It is the 2 old antiques of the wide shapeshift great art. These 2 old antiques are still. At this time, many of them just arrived, and the cultivators that have not yet entered heaven transformation cult are all out of low surging sound. The 5 old individuals of Purple Yang sect and the wide shapeshift great art are also stopped. A group of golden divine light and a white rainbow glow at the same time, followed by a dozen splendid light, like the God King parade. The momentum is very grand treasure. It is Lu Jianyu and Lantern, Hong Shapeshift Great Art 2 Old Antique Class. The character came with a batch of Heavenly Emperor Dao's disciple. This group of guys is not slow, maybe they can't catch up, and they go back to Meishan City and repair the transmission of Shapeshift Great Art. Ling Longtian has a surging sound. Help me see if there are any hard to handle to great treasures on these guys. Wei Suo does not move the surging sound color, sound transmission to Ling Longtian's ear. Sect Master, at this time, Wei Suo, Ling Longtian, and Yin Liwa were all slightly stagnation. The breath of a giant treasure was heard from the Heaven Transformation Cult, and several Heaven Transformation Cult disciples on the white stage. It's all immediately analogously. Among the white mess in the rear, a man wearing a quaint robes and a skin like a ewe is volleyed. The pressure on his body makes people feel trembled. It is Heaven Transformation Cult Sect Master Sushenxiu. Sushenxiu is coming out in person. It is no wonder that this man kills Heavenly Emperor Dao, Huang Shapeshift Great Art Tiangong and Purple Yang Sect 3 Great Sect True Disciple, now Heavenly Emperor Dao's Great Treasure Disciple and Guang Shapeshift Great Art Tiangong, Purple Yang Sect. All the old antique all rushed to the gate, affecting 2 great trees and perhaps Guang Shapeshift Great Art Tiangong and Purple Yang Sect, Heavenly Emperor Dao itself have the top cultivator have come to participate in this great treasure. He must be coming out. Yes, the people who come are all too high, and the general elders are not useful at all. Seeing that Sushenxiu appeared in person, many cultivators couldn't help but breathe in. The atmosphere outside the Heaven Transformation Cult is really too tight. Hello dare treasure courage, Sushenxiu came out with a glance at Wei Suo, and the divine light in the eyes was as substantial as a surging sound sternly shouted. Sushenxiu shows the position as soon as it comes out. Do you want to suppress this Wei Suo right away? Isn't that going to a great treasure battle soon? Many of the cultivators who came to participate in the great treasure meeting immediately came up with the idea. So Sect Master, I don't know if Sect Master is coming down with a great treasure. However, in the face of Sushenxiu's direct scolding, Wei Suo is not moving. Surging sound is very calm. You killed the true disciple of Heavenly Emperor Dao, Purple Yang Palace and the wide Shapeshift Great Art, and even the rushed rising Reverend was killed. Isn't it the courage of great treasure? Sushenxiu's face is very gloomy, coldly said. That is the situation. When you come down, it is to use this great treasure meeting to explain this in front of Sect Master. Wei Suo still said calmly. So you kill them, is it reasonable? Sushenxiu looked at Wei Suo and looked cold. As for reason, you can let the cultivator judge. Wei Suo looked at Sushenxiu and said, the Sect Master will naturally judge when it comes to time. So Sect Master, this person killed my brother, and he personally admitted that there is no need to talk nonsense with him. Let me bring him back to Heavenly Emperor Dao, naturally can judge whether he said it is true. For God King Shapeshift Great Art seats came from the rear, and Lu Jianyu at the top gave a tribute to Sushenxiu, and coldly looked at Wei Suo. You are here too. I am trying to ask Sect Master to comment, why your brother Lu Weijin wants to count me with Huang Pujualuan. Wei Suo glanced at Lu Jianyu indifferently. How exactly, to my Heavenly Emperor Dao, naturally can be said. If you dare not go, there is a ghost in your heart. Lu Jianyu sees Wei Suo, very strong. So Sect Master, my Yin Corp sect has joined the Great Transformation Alliance, and I am also on the way to the Great Transformation Alliance. I came to see Sect Master. I want to judge Sect Master. Wei Suo ignored Lu Jianyu and looked at Sushenxiu. I think fellow Daoist in the Great Transformation Alliance has something to do. Is it true that Sect Master will be clear? If this is the case, then advance my Heaven Transformation Cult gate, and wait for the great treasure thing. Just at this great treasure meeting, Sushenxiu nodded and glanced at Lu Jianyu. And your master avatar will come, let your master deciding, should there be no problem. Wang Wushang's avatar will also come down, dead liar, although Wangwushang is just advanced divine mystic 4th layer, Avatar is up to divine mystic 2nd layer powerful energy, but more than 2 divine mystic great treasure can, you must be no match. Remember to be smarter at the moment. Ling Longtian immediately confronted Wei Suo, saying with sound transmission. Since my teacher is present, there is no problem. Lu Jinai's face was gloomy, and he stunned Wei Suo and said, "Follow me." Su Shengxiu's face was cold and turned to lead the way. It seems that there is a great treasure opportunity this time. Wei Suo followed him, and he had such thoughts in his mind. He felt that Su Shengxiu was not very good on his face, but Su Shengxiu had no real killing intent for him. To heaven transformation. The power of cult, the lust shape of the enemy at the time, may have been known to him. Now his attitude is such that lust great treasure has something to offer. Deceased liar, if you want to run when you arrive, go to the east side of the mountain. Ling Longtian is also sound transmission to Wei Suo's ear. Everyone walks through the white mist, and the entire heaven transformation cult gate is shrouded in a white mist, which makes people can't see it, but Ling Longtian's gaze flashes, but it seems to be clear. Even heaven transformation cult secret place restrictions, the weakness is seen. The guy and the 2 old men have nothing special about shapeshift great art great treasure. It's just that guy's body, shapeshift great art great treasure, has 2 mystic level mid-level defense shapeshift great art great treasures, and a mystic level mid-level and mystic level upper grade defense shapeshift great art great treasure. Ling Longtian went on to say with sound transmission. Aside from the 4 odd king shapeshift great art seats, is there a little more than a half of the shapeshift great art great treasure of immortal artifact? Wei Suo's brow was slightly wrinkled, but he didn't say anything. Heaven transformation cult's approach is really extraordinary. With such an arrangement, the general sect will not be arranged at all soon. The front mist suddenly separated, and Wei Suo's eyes flashed again. In the middle of the air, a platform of a giant great treasure is suspended, which is thousands of square feet. It is made of a white yew hill. Above the white yew platform in the suspended air, hundreds of cultivators have been gathered. At least half of these cultivators are full of spiritual qi, condensed in various shapes, sitting on the white Yulian platform. With so many golden core cultivators coming together, it's amazing. Divine Crystal Sect Master. The Palace. Refining Shinto Sect Master. Xuanhuan Reverend. Not only are many great sects sect masters, but many of them are usually outside of Heaven's Dome, and they have created Cave Mansion, and the rarely present Golden Core Great Treasure Cultivator has appeared. The return of the Sacred Reverend, Blue Candle Gates 5 Dragons Reverend, these people have not fallen yet. Yin Liwa also saw a lot of old-fashioned old antiques. Such a rare event, perhaps there will be a lot of spiritual Yao, the genius of great treasure appeared, but also attracted countless lines will be on the wood. Only a Sai of old antique came to try their luck. Many of them have not received the great treasure before, but they have come in contact with heaven transformation cult. This son actually killed divine mystic. Wei Suo followed Su Shengxiu down, countless eyes, and suddenly gathered on his body. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 784. Chapter 784. The giant great treasure suspended in the air does not have much splendid light itself, but there are many strong people gathered above, many of which will come with the old antique of the wood, and there are not many cultivators above the golden core 3rd layer, spiritual qi, a group of amazing spiritual qi coagulation, making the white yew platform above the Xiangxia envelope, Rui Cai Wan. Fellow deist, and a stick of incense time, this great treasure will officially begin. It will start this time with great treasure. There is something lust, just to decide with fellow deist. Su Shengxiu landed directly on the top of a white yew platform, the most great treasure of the white yew lotus platform. Surging sound spread throughout the white Yuliantai. It is definitely a secret place to take care of this to kill Lu Weijin and others. At this time, all the people at the Great Treasure will already know what happened to Meishan City. When Su Shengxiu came down with Wei Suo and Lu Jinyu and others, they all came up with such thoughts. It goes without saying. It is. Fellow deist, this matter is related to Heavenly Emperor Dao true disciple, you please sect Master Wang Avatar immediately, Su Shengxiu said to the side of the white Yulian stage, an unspoken, old-fashioned old deist said. The old deist wore a purple robe with a white dust and a white spirit light behind him forming a white ancient mirror. When I heard the words of Su Shengxiu, the old deist did not say anything. He just reached out and a golden light shot from his hand, flashing in the air in front, as if passing through the void. Boom! Almost at the same time, the void in front of him was a tremor, a golden light spread out, and a figure stepped out of it. This figure is a white-faced man with a clear facial features. He is completely dressed as an emperor, wearing a golden crown, wearing a golden robes, peddling gold coiling dragon boots, and a waist-studded purple belt. And all of this is all a strip of light entwined and condense, scattered divine light, people without shape-shift great art by vision, stunned one Ang's tyrannical momentum, like a tsunami rolled out from him, like Tianzun came to the world and made people suffocate. Deceased liar, it seems that these heavenly Emperor Dao guys also have the shape teleportation shape-shift great art great treasure, but with that black ya fragment, it should be able to restrain. Ling Longtian's surging sound is introduced into Wei Suo's ear. Master! Sect Master! Upon seeing this divine light shape-shift great art, Lu Jinyu and other cultivators of Heavenly Emperor Dao suddenly became more proud and swearing. Heavenly Emperor Dao Sect Master Wang Wei Divine Mystic 4th Layer Cultivation Base, the power of the presence of the Great Treasure most cultivator discoloration, and the more the face of these cultivators discolored, Lu Jinyu and other people like the Heavenly Emperor Dao cultivator are more proud. You killed Lu Weijin. Wang Wei's divine light shape-shift great art came out and the eyes gathered directly on Wei Suo's. A huge pressure shook the Wei Suo. The scent of the dazzling divine light and Wang Wei's countless light lines makes Wei Suo feel a bit suffocating. But the look on his face was not changed at all. It was still calm and waveless. Yes, I killed it, but at the time he came with Huang Pujualun and joined forces with Huang Pujualun to deal with me. I asked him before. At the time of his identity, he also concealed his identity and said it was the cultivator of heavenly profound continent. Master, now that everyone is dead, he naturally says anything. Lu Jinyu sneered. Almost all cultivators in Meishan City have seen it. I have a Dao technique shapeshift great art that can tell the truth. If you don't believe it, Great Treasure can find a few cultivators in Meishan City. Just ask. Wei Suo is still very calm and slowly said. This sun is so calm, extraordinary. The secret place is under the pressure of Wang Wei, and the look is unchanged. Divine consciousness is definitely amazing. Seeing Wei Suo's calm and self-contained manner, many of the Great Treasure cultivators in the eyes were flashing, and they all felt that Wei Suo's was no different. Legend Reverend, you Purple Yang sect has final eye heavenly lamp, Zhong 11 body, definitely equipped with lights. You can make the scene before the fall of Zhong 11, naturally can distinguish his true and false. Wang Wei also had no change in the face of God. After seeing Wei Suo, he said to a young man in the yellow robe who had previously surrounded Wei Suo's 5 old antiques. Purple Yang sect actually has a shapeshift great art that can make a true disciple foreground image. Yin Liwa suddenly became a bit of a heart. As long as Wei Suo and Huang Pujualun, Lu Weijin and others looked at the enemy scene, the scene would be very beneficial to Wei Suo. After all, Lu Weijin and others began to change their looks and it was a fact to kill Wei Suo. Our Purple Eye Sect's final eye heavenly lamp origin chi has been lost. I haven't used it for a long time. I didn't bring it with me. The old man in Huangbao shook his head and said. Deceased liar, ask him if final eye heavenly lamp is a purple oil like shapeshift great art great treasure with some eye like rune. Ling Longtian's tortoise is next to Yin Liwa. which is very low-key, but sound transmission to Wei Suo's ear. That thing is in his treasure receiving pocket, very good. The final eye heavenly lamp of your purple yang sect is a purple oily shapeshift great art great treasure. Wei Suo did not move the surging sound color, and looked at the old antique of this purple yang sect. The old antique of this purple yang sect was a hit. That thing, not in your treasure receiving pocket. Wei Suo looked at Sushengxiu and Wang Wushang. Please ask Sect Master and Sect Master Wang to give me the treasure receiving pocket. If I can't get this shapeshift great art great treasure, I will have 2 Sect Masters secret place. Said. The old antique of the purple yang sect suddenly unconsciously grabbed his treasure receiving pocket. When he saw this kind of expression, the cultivator was reacted in 10, and the final eye heavenly lamp was definitely in this name. Old antique's treasure receiving pocket. Brother, you seem to be too old treasure to forget just in this name. Purple yang sect old antique can't go up, and his face is white for a while. When it is difficult to step down, the old man in purple is next to surging sound. The thing has been fixed 2 days ago, I am here for you. Really, did I really forget? This purple yang sect old antique immediately took a treasure receiving pocket. It's really here. It seems that the age of great treasure is really good. The purple yang sect old antique is very shameless. After saying this, I took out a purple oil lamp shapeshift great art great treasure with many black lines on it, which looks like a strange black crystal stone mosaic. Made. This old guy has a thick face. Wei Suo is so sure to say this. Is it really possible to see through the treasure receiving pocket, not to deliberately scare? Linjian Reverend, the old antique, is still telling lies on the body. It seems that the situation is indeed beneficial to this. The cultivator in the field is flashing in the eyes and calculating in the heart. If you bring it with you, then please. Reverend Wang Wushang and Sushengxiu did not say much, they are all coldly looking at purple yang sect old antique. Pa. All the cultivators present are holding their breath, and they want to see for themselves how Wei Suo kills divine mystic great treasure, but spirit light on Reverend has a bright, a surging sound, and the shapeshift great art skylight appears. A few cracks turned into a few quick fragments. Reverend, a surging sound great treasure, said, final eye heavenly lamp has been damaged, and it has exploded directly. Is this shameless? Most of the cultivator great treasures in the room were directly stunned. In the heart, I couldn't help but Reverend was really dead. It was so obvious that Linjian Reverend obviously intentionally broke the shapeshift great art. Old guy, your skin is too thick, and it is estimated that even immortal artifact can't be worn. Ling Longtian was proud of it. When she saw that Reinand Linjian could do this, she couldn't help but scream out surging sound. You are who, so rude, want to die? The morning look of Linjian Reverend suddenly changed, and murderous aura looked at Ling Longtian. Sorry, she is rude, not right. Wei Suo said, you are just shameless, your ass grows on your head, where you come from? You, Linjian Reverend heard the previous sentence still proud, heard the following sentence, almost directly bombarded, extended his finger and poked at Wei Suo. No matter who is right or wrong, let us return the sect disciples' relics to us. The 2 old antique lanterns Reverend and Hong Shapeshift Great Art Reverend of the Y Chapshift Great Art Temple looked at each other and said directly. Good. Wei Suo was very simple, reaching out and pointing Lu Weijin and others' treasure receiving pocket directly to the front of the lanterns Reverend and Lu Jinaiu. When are we idiots? They only have these things in them. Wei Suo is so refreshing, let the lantern Reverend and others be one of them. After divine consciousness swept through the treasure receiving pocket, the lights, Reverend and others, couldn't help but scream. There are only some of the most common healing treatments in the treasure receiving pocket, and even the shapeshift great art great treasure. They may be afraid of being exposed to the enemy, so they didn't bring anything. When I got their treasure receiving pocket, they only had these things. Wei Suo still said calmly. You dare to lie like this? Linjian Reverend saw Wei Suo's face not changing his eyes, and he was so angry that he was so angry. Reassured, let me tear down his tricks. Our broad shapeshift great art has a restrictions of our wide shapeshift great art to unravel on some important objects. Hong shapeshift great art Reverend slammed the great treasure sleeves, reached out to splendid light, and looked at Wei Suo with a sneer. But immediately, his sneer was solidified, and his face became extremely ugly. Why, he even broke the restrictions of your wide shapeshift great art temple. As soon as I saw the face of Hong shapeshift great art Reverend, Linjian Reverend knew what was going on and couldn't help but scream. There is no such thing, what is broken? Wei Suo sneered. Remove all of the big treasure class shapeshift great art on your body and see it at a glance. Lu Jinao looks cold, great treasure. Susect Master, right now and right, I believe that all the cultivators present will know at a glance. Do you need more words? Wei Suo sneered at a surging sound. According to the common sense in the cultivation world, even if these cultivators have other things, they collude with the Tianqian cultivator to kill me, and all things belong to me. Enough is enough. Lu Jinao's eyes flashed, not waiting for Su Shengxiu to say anything, he would drink a surging sound. Great treasure. I can admit that my brothers are indeed hidden, but most likely they are heavenly profound continent divine mystic. Great treasure can control. And finally, my heavenly Emperor Dao has a disciple to remind me that it is also killed by you. Do you admit this? They were completely impossible to control by divine mystic great treasure, and when divine mystic great treasure was already killed by me, they didn't have the first time to reveal their identity. Wei Suo sneered. The then heavenly Emperor Dao disciple, I thought it was their accomplices. Master, Lu Weijin is my brother, this must not be reported. At that time, there was a naked body lust shape, and it was subtle. Who can make it clear? Lu Jinai great treasure surging sound roaring, admiring Wang Wei, please ask the teacher to respect me and this person fair. This person killed divine mystic great treasure, Lu fellow Daoist you. Hearing Lu Jinai so roaring, the lanterns reverend and others were all surprised by the great treasure, and they were dissuaded by surging sound. How, I now admit that you have reasons to kill them, but I also have reasons to kill you. Lu Jinai did not listen to the dissuasion of these old antiques, looked at Wei Suo and continued to growl, I am fair with you, can you accept? Wei Suo brows, eyes flash, does not speak, but looks to Su Shengxiu and Wang Wei. Lu Jinai, are you sure you want to be like this? Wang Wei took a look at Wei Suo and Lu Jinai, coldly. Lu Jinai's two sentences have already shown that Wei Suo has taken advantage of it, and Wang Wei and others have already seen it at this moment. The fact is that it is indeed the same as Wei Suo's, otherwise Lu Jinai this method will be used directly. Please ask the teacher to be honored, Lu Jinai Li surging sound. What do you mean? Wang Wei turned to look at Wei Suo. If Sect Master Wang promises not to blame me for killing Lu Weijin, I can fight this person. Wei Suo gave a slight yin and nodded. Well, what the matter is, it doesn't mean anything. This battle is just your private grievances. Regardless of the outcome of this battle, I am Heavenly Emperor Dao. No one is allowed to be an enemy of them. Wang Wei nodded and said. Thank you for your mastery. Lu Jinai stared at Wei Suo, and killing intent was amazed. It's just a duel. It's worth the great treasure. It's not a pleasure. According to what you have said, according to the common sense in the cultivation world, the things that are defeated on one side are owned by the other party. How? Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 785. Chapter 785 is not enough, +2. Chapter 785 is not enough, +2. Update time 2011-10-1516, 00 words 3331. VIP chapter content, subscription. Lu Jinai has any control, even dare to gamble like this, with the presence of Wang Wei, Lu Jinai should be foolproof, and Wang Wei will at least not let him fall, but if both parties talk about such conditions, then when he loses, Wang Wei can only let the shapeshift great art great treasure on his body is all easy to change. Immortal artifact. Wei Suo this person has a divine mystic great treasure that can be without the immortal artifact that shapeshift great art has broken. If divine mystic great treasure can get it, and other divine mystic great treasure can match, you can be invincible first. Immortal artifact. Wang Wei is also tempted and wants to take this opportunity to get immortal artifact, so he only allowed Lu Jinyu and Wei Suo to show up, but Wei Suo has immortal artifact in hand, and Lu Jinyu relies on him to compete with him. It is said that Wei Suo has a powerful energy and divine mystic shapeshift great art on hand. It is also close to immortal artifacts attack shapeshift great art great treasure. Do you not be afraid to give all the things in Lu Jinyu? Lu Jinyu is so emboldened, what is the bottom of the box? Lu Jinyu as soon as this is said, the entire great treasure will be in a state of disappointment. Wei Suo kills divine mystic great treasure with golden core cultivation base. It is already unique and extremely defying. Is there a way to make heaven defying today? Divine ability is enough to kill divine mystic great treasure? How could this guy have such a psi? Wei Suo's brow wrinkled and didn't answer for a while. Ling Longtian can help him see clearly. Lu Jinyu is not particularly amazing to great treasure except for the mystic rank shapeshift great art great treasure. But the more he is suspicious, because even Lu Jinyu is completely brainless, and Wang Wei is now present. If Lu Jinyu does not have the capital to compete with himself, Wang Wei will never answer, let him confront himself. What, don't you dare, seeing Wei Suo hesitating, behind Lu Jinyu, a sneer in a green shirt with Heavenly Emperor Dao disciple great treasure surging sound. If you don't dare, beg for mercy, let me first senior brother abolish your cultivation base, Jiao origin, you can spare your life. Another Heavenly Emperor Dao disciple wearing a white shapeshift great art dress immediately shouted. I am afraid this kind of gambling is a bit unfair. Wei Suo swept the two Heavenly Emperor Dao disciple and didn't speak. Suddenly there was a surging sound. And Lu Jinyu and several Heavenly Emperor Dao cultivators looked cold and swept toward the man whose surging sound. It's him, Wei Suo swept away, but it was a slight glimpse. The cultivator of the surging sound is in a majestic manner, and the spiritual chi condense on the body has the shape of a giant great treasure of the golden armor. This cultivator is awesome of the heaven-catching reverend that Wei Suo encountered when attending the golden core cultivator Jiao of the Extreme Pleasure Palace. This heaven-catching reverend was a 3-time fight with Wei Suo. The final match with Wei Suo, shapeshift great art, was defeated by Wei Suo with annihilation golden core. Unexpectedly, this heaven-catching reverend came to the great treasure of heaven transformation cult, and heaven-catching reverend was the cultivation base of golden core 3rd layer. Now Wei Suo swept away, and now there is a breakthrough in the cultivation base. Already the cultivator of the golden core 4th layer. Wei Suo thought that someone had surging sound to help himself. Now that I saw this person, Wei Suo immediately reacted. This person has surging sound and there is absolutely nothing good for himself. This fellow deist, where do you say it is not fair? Lu Jinyu looks at heaven-catching reverend with awesome eyes. He also didn't know that heaven-catching reverend and Wei Suo had old hatred, thinking that heaven-catching reverend had a surging sound to help Wei Suo. I heard that this person has immortal artifact in hand. There are other things to the great treasure. I am afraid that the things on Lu fellow deist are not enough to match the things on this person. Heaven-catching reverend glanced at Wei Suo in the cold, reaching for a hand, and a brilliance hit Lu Jinyu. This piece of immortal king god crystal, comparable to several immortal level Danyao, plus the things of Lu fellow deist, should also be worth the value of fellow deist Wei. This gambling should be fair. Immortal king god crystal. This thing is immortal king god crystal. Dear God, this is the spiritual stone's vein, the natural manifestation, the rare crystal nucleus. This divine crystal can not only provide amazing spiritual chi, but also in the naked body, there is a mysterious the opening of the words, equivalent to instantly enhance the amazing spirit of many cultivation base. Dear God. This kind of thing has only been produced for tens of thousands of years, and it is now available. This is divine crystal that ancient great treasure can be crazy about. Lujanayu is already the cultivation base of the golden core fifth layer. If you have this divine crystal, you have to go through the golden core fifth layer and the equivalent to the half divine mystic. What does this person mean by bringing such a thing to Lujanayu? When heaven-catching reverence words came out, things were a little bit out of the way, and the audience suddenly burst out and died. It seems that you are really a disaster star, and there are many people who provoke. Seeing the things that heaven-catching reverend points out, Ling Longtian can't help but aok a deep breath, and the Weisuo sound transmission is such a sentence. This guy got such a thing. Weisuo is also aok a deep breath, and my heart is also very shocking. I saw the immortal King God crystal from heaven-catching reverend. It is a small piece of great treasure. It is white and crystal clear. It is a unique crystal stone that naturally forms a human figure sitting on a plate. The human figure sitting on this plate is dense and has numerous pores. Among them, there are brilliances in the faint. These tiny holes are like the niche of this humanoid crystal stone, with a mysterious atmosphere. Weisuo has also seen the records of immortal King God crystal in some books. This divine crystal is naturally naturalized in the spiritual stone's vein. It is said that when the ancient great treasure was able to fall, some of the blood on the body just broke into the spiritual stone's vein, which was naturally formed after the ages. This divine crystal, complete refining, in which spiritual chi is comparable to several immortal level Danyao, is estimated to be the cultivation base of the golden core fourth layer middle stage at Weisuo. If you completely refining this divine crystal, you can directly cross the great treasure. The semi-stage cultivation base directly breaks into the golden core fifth layer. And the most mysterious secret place of this divine crystal is that after the swallowing, the spiritual chi contained in it will naturally come out, and the position on the divine crystal tire naked body will shake the dank cultivator fleshly body, just like the grand treasure cultivator. The bit, in the process of natural refining, is equivalent to many cultivation bases that can enhance the cultivator. That is to say, if Weisuo takes this immortal King God crystal at this moment, immortal King God crystal in his naked body will immediately let his cultivation base equivalent to golden core fifth layer, until immortal King God crystal is naked in him. The body is completely ablated, and his cultivation base will actually reach the golden core fifth layer. This kind of thing, since ancient times, is comparable to several immortal level Danyao to great treasure. I cannot think of heaven-catching reverend actually got this piece. Immortal King God crystal. Lujanayu also did not think that heaven-catching reverend would directly play such a thing, and see the crystal stone suspended in front of himself. He could not help but stunned. At this level of things, anyone who sees them must be completely shocked. You give me this great treasure, what are the requirements? Lujanayu immediately responded, knowing that heaven-catching reverend must have a hatred with Weisuo, converging his mind, and looking at heaven-catching reverend, the sound transmission into the ears of heaven-catching reverend. Just ask Lu fellow Daoist not to kill it directly, and to inflict this person. There are a few Dao technique shapeshift great art on this person. When he comes out of great treasure, we can kneel down. By asked shapeshift great art. Heaven-catching reverend does not move the sound of the sound transmission to Lujanayu. Well, this person's shapeshift great art is when we share it. Lujanayu looked away and saw heaven-catching reverend around the body. Several golden core cultivators are hidden with heaven-catching reverend. He immediately decided to sound transmission, reached out and grabbed immortal King God crystal into his hand. Deceased liar, these people are going to prepare to deal with you secretly. Even if you can easily win, you should also deliberately lose the way you are hurt. Just to introduce them. Ling Longtian continues to sound transmission into Weisuo's ears. Heaven-catching reverend thought that his sound transmission to Lujanayu was unknown, but it was clearly heard by Ling Longtian. Heaven-catching Reverend actually wants to provoke me, he has so many golden core cultivators around the body, how many of them want to kill me? Wei Suo not move surging sound color, he glanced at, in addition to heaven catching around a few reverend cultivator obvious to their eyes bleak, the vision of the implied killing intent, there are more than 10 cultivator, many are golden core second layer third layer base, but do not look at themselves, cultivation the appearance of repose, under such circumstances, such an expression, but it is suspicious. He killed many sex golden core cultivators in heavenly profound continent. These cultivators are also likely to come together and look for opportunities to kill themselves. Perhaps it may be the great sect cultivators such as true martial section, not necessarily. And now everyone thinks that he has a real immortal artifact, I don't know how many people want to take it for himself. In this great treasure, I don't know how many hidden opponents there are. How, this immortal king god crystal is amazingly worthwhile, and even if I swallow it, in a bucket shift great art, there is no one in the spiritual chi that can refining. If you can beat me, this block is immortal. King God Crystal is also yours. Lu Jinai grabbed immortal King God Crystal into her hands and watched Wei Suo sneer. If you still can't accept it, then come back to Heavenly Emperor Dao and give my brother a 10-year sacred spirit. Deceased liar, to play a great treasure, this person is too arrogant, I am not happy. The two behind him, Heavenly Emperor Dao disciple, who is yelling at you, have an essence medal in the left person's treasure receiving pocket, and another guy has a section of treasure receiving pocket with amazing water. Spirit Yuan Chi, no less than rank 7 water attribute monster core. Ling Long Tian sound transmission into Wei Suo's ear, you can let them go together and bet on what they are anyway, there is a threat to you, and this is only Lu Jinai, two small fish, plus or not. Alright, Wei Suo quietly transmitted the sound to Ling Longtian, but there was a sneer on his face. He glanced at Lu Jinai and ordered a pair of Heavenly Emperor Dao true disciple, Lu Jinai, you alone not my opponent, plus those two parties and my great treasure yelling together. What? This person actually has to add 2 golden core opponents, this person is really arrogant. Wei Suo, when the words came out, the entire venue suddenly became a loss. The two Heavenly Emperor Dao true disciple behind Lu Jinai, one is the golden core first layer and the other is the golden core second layer, which is obviously the leader among all the true disciple of Heavenly Emperor Dao. Heavenly Emperor Dao, this type of sex true disciple, divine ability is no better than the ordinary golden core cultivator, Lu Jinai golden core 5th layer cultivation base, dare to challenge Wei Suo who just killed divine mystic, but Wei Suo is still not satisfied. Plus these 2 golden core opponents. You say what? 2 truly Emperor Dao's true disciple are thunderous, and they all feel that Wei Suo's is extremely contemptuous. Good. I will let you know what is called regret. Lu Jinai blinked in the eyes, but it was not much to say, turned to look at Su Shengxiu, please ask Sect Master to draw a place for a duel.